Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, wonderful people of all shapes, sizes, and denominations. I'm so glad to see you here once again, less than 24 hours from when we previously had congregated for the great late-night 5-hour Genshin stream mania that went on last night. Thank you all for joining me. Today is a very special day. Today is a very, very special day because today is the 25-year anniversary of the release of the greatest game ever made. And to know that is not a hyperbolic statement. And to know you cannot dispute me or try to change my mind because you would just be wrong. Final Fantasy Tactics is the single greatest game ever made. Is a masterpiece work of art from start to finish. And to this day, has inspired and is continuing to inspire entire teams of game developers, scores of individual artists, developers, musicians, etc., etc., etc. It is a landmark in gaming history, and there are far, far too few people who have played it. So today, we're going to play a little bit of it. This is not going to be a series. This is not going to be an ongoing thing, as frankly, I just don't have the time for that right now, unfortunately. But we're going to stream probably 3-ish hours, maybe, possibly. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see how long we decide to go. I will very easily get caught up in this game, so I'll have to stop myself. But I want everyone to see this game. And I want people to just get a taste of why I love it so much. I love Final Fantasy Tactics, guys. It is legitimately my favorite game. I mean, I'm 30. The game's 25. And I don't know when exactly it is that I was first exposed to it. It wasn't that long after it came out. My dad was playing it. So for what, 80% of my life? And 100% of my, conscious adult life, this game has been a huge influence on me. So, I hope you can forgive me a little bit of hyperbole. Okay. We're going to get the show on the road. There will be a few things to go over here as we get started. So I want people to kind of know what it is that we're getting into here and have an understanding of what's going on. I see Fine and Canada are in the chat. Hello, you fine fellows. You guys joined me last night. Thank you for joining me again now. Tunic only gets better from there. Oh, I know. And yes, I'm aware. The starting soon is still on the screen. I'm working on it. How much sleep did I get? 5.5 hours. So not terrible, honestly. Pretty normal for me. That was pretty much my norm in college. So I functioned on it pretty well still. Hope I slept well. I hope you guys slept well. Absolutely. I slept quite well, actually. Hello, Tactanium Tixman. Outer Wilds would like to fight you. I love Outer Wilds dearly. It does not hold a candle in my heart to Final Fantasy Tactics. And I cried over Outer Wilds a couple of times. That should tell you something. That should absolutely tell you something. Oh, shouldn't be so biased towards Final Fantasy Tactics just because it's a really good game. Jeez, yeah, I know. Alright. So, we're going to take this starting stream soon off the screen, and you'll be able to see some of my previous save files. I've played this game a lot, as you might be able to surmise. These are not my PSP save files, and that's something we're going to go over here. I am currently playing on PC for the sake of recording. There is unfortunately no Steam port, so I'm playing the PSP version of the game. So, if you see some weird, the resolution doesn't seem quite right, or in certain, CG cutscenes, like you'll see in the intro, you might see a little bit of artifacting. That's because this is blown up much bigger than it would have been on the PSP. We are playing the PSP version, as opposed to the original PlayStation 1 version, because I just feel it's the superior version. There's a newly translated script that I think fits the game much better. There's a bunch of beautiful, beautiful cutscenes, some voice work that's really, really nice, extra classes, quests, things like that, characters. And it's just great. It's just a great version of the game. So that is the version of the game that we are using. I can promise you, beyond the very scant few times where you'll notice it, like at the very beginning here, you will not be able to notice the difference graphically. So hopefully it doesn't bug you. And for those of you who are watching on a phone, you probably wouldn't be able to notice anyway. So yeah, these are just a couple of my saves just from me, you know, noodling around, playing the game here and there, trying out different things just because it's a comfort game for me. But we're not going to be loading from any of these. We're going to be loading from a fresh save. Oh yeah, this looks familiar. Oh yeah. Saw a video of PS1 without the magic slowdown yesterday and I was amazed. Yeah. So that is something to note. In the PSP version of the game, there is a lot of slowdown with abilities and magic and stuff, and that has to do with the PSP and the UMD disk system and how it would load things. That is coded in. That's not like something the hardware of the PSP did. So this is patched to remove that slowdown. As such, the first time I use an ability or skill or something like that, you might notice a quick stutter as the game basically loads the patch, but then you'll never notice it for that ability again so long as we're playing. So there's little things to look out for. How do I feel about the people still screaming that the PS1 script is the better one? They're entitled to their opinion, and I totally understand what they enjoy about it. There is a charm to it. But as someone who loves to get immersed in these types of games and really feel like I'm part of the world, the more Victorian flowery script that's not filled with like typos and weird grammatical errors and some silliness is my preference. So, okay. We're going to hang out here on the main menu for just a second until the intro crawl plays, and then we're going to get into this. Best soundtrack in gaming, by the way. Just putting it out there. As always, guys, let me know how sound levels are and everything like that. I do have things cranked up a little bit so that you can hear the music and how impressive it is, but, you know, you tell me. Oh, this music as well. God. Oh. Well, the fuck, I could have patched it the whole time, god damn it. Yeah, but you didn't really notice it as much your first playthrough through, right? So I wasn't going to have you go through all the headache of getting it all patched and everything before you decided to start playing. In fact, I didn't even really know how to patch it until after you had played. Tom didn't read my emu joke? Oh, I didn't see it. Emus are the best animal, aren't they? I get you. I understand. Guten Tag! Hello, Coffee Cup. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting started. We are just getting started. A very happy emu has much emu elation. Yes, indeed. Don't mind me, just your friendly neighborhood. Haven't played this game, man. And that is A-okay, Coffee Cup. Part of the reason that I'm playing this tonight, you missed the little bit of a intro that I gave. Basically, all you need to know is that this is not going to be a series. This is a one-off that I am doing tonight to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the release of the game, as it is the greatest video game that has ever been released and is my favorite video game of all time. Has had a huge influence on me. But that's part of the reason I'm playing it, is because it is, as much as it is well-known and extremely popular and has inspired so many games and so much art and so much everything in the world. Kind of like Berserk in that way, and this is actually inspired by Berserk in and of itself. Not enough people have played it or seen it. So, I'm playing it tonight in the hopes that even just one person picks it up and falls in love. Oh. I am a Raslam, student of Ivalice's middle age. You are familiar with the War of the Lions, no? The title of the game, or the subtitle. It was a bitter war of succession that rent the land of Ivalice in two. Here we first find mention of Delita Hyrule, a heretofore unknown young man, the hero who would draw the curtain on this dark act of our history. His is a heroism of great renown, a story familiar to all who dwell within our land. Ah, what the eye sees is oftentimes a mere fragment of the truth. There was another young man, the youngest of House Beowulf, long famed for producing leaders of knights and men. There is no official record of the role he played on history's stage. However, according to the Durai papers, the existence of which became known to the public only this last year, they had long lain concealed in church archives. This forgotten young man is, in fact, the true hero. The church maintains he was a heretic, an inciter of unrest and disturber of the peace. Which account is to be believed? Join me in my search to uncover the answer. But before we begin, might I ask you to share with me your name and the date of your birth? Now, normally I'd go into all of this and everything, change my name, whatever, but since this is not going to be a full series, we're going to leave things as Ramza, and we're going to leave things as his default birth date. Ramza is, of course, the hero of our story, not the hero of the overall story as it's known in-universe, but our hero, our protagonist, and the true hero behind everything. I need to point out, I love this game so much. I have seen that intro 20 times, easily. Maybe 30 at this point. I have played this game like multiple times in a year. I still get chills reading it. And the satisfaction I get of reading that out loud to all of you, like, I can't even describe it. That intro, where it's just describing the Zodiac Braves, the music and the imagery, to this day, as a 30-year-old man, makes me want to, like, pack a pack and pick up a sword and go on an adventure. Not a lot of things have that impact on me anymore, like I'm a kid. But this does. Still don't understand how the mainline Final Fantasy series got from the original game to what it is now. When you have that many entries over that period of time, you gotta know how to iterate or die. Should I add it to my list and dip out of stream for spoilers? Full disclosure, I have FF6, 7, Trails of the Sky, and Mother/Earthbound on my RPG to playlist ahead of it, since I finally finished Chrono Trigger. I doubt Tom would spoil stuff, but if you want a taste for what the game is and how it begins, maybe try sticking around. Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Like, this game is so huge, the opening couple of hours is really not going to be a spoiler for you at all. Like, we're not going to be rushing or anything, so you'll see the very beginning stuff, and that's it. We are Ramza Beowulf, and he is born the 10th of January. Now, what's cool is your birth date does actually affect some things. We'll go into that after this, because this intro, oh my god. I'm muting. Oh, what an intro. Oh my god. What an intro, man. Oh, I was just saying to Jane, like, as she was grabbing her dinner, it gives me chills every time to this day. It's amazing. Absolutely incredible. Like I said, best OST in gaming, period. Like, the names attached to this game. I'm terrible with names, so I can't, like, go and name them. I'm sure there's some of you in chat who know who they are. Ben, especially, I'm sure you can name some of them. You don't have to, but, you know. But, most notably, the character designer, I think one of the primary artists for the entire game, is the artist behind Nier Automata. You know, the 2B and 9S and all those characters. So if you notice any similarities, obviously there's a many-decade divide between the two games, but, yeah. Yeah, you might notice that. Imagine Arslan unfurls that map and starts playing on it with little wooden figurines as he imagines all this history. Yeah, probably. Probably. Love the imagery of knights on chocobos. Glad that stuck around in 12 and is even going to be in 16. Yes! So if you feel like you've heard the name Ivalice before in Final Fantasy, in things like Final Fantasy 12 or Final Fantasy Tactics Advance, or, yeah, 14? Yeah, 14, and a few of the other games, this is where Ivalice started. All of those games owe their history and their design and their aesthetic and everything to this game. And remember, this is a PS1 game, so you're going to get the blocky PS1 texture, so I hope it doesn't bother you. We have a beautiful young knight here, with our first spoken dialogue, other than Ovelia, who was praying. Lady Ovelia, it is time. I'll not be much longer, Agris. Your escort has already arrived, Majesty. Please heed the good lady's words, Highness. You must hurry. Ah, and here they are. Oh, this guy's one of my favorite characters in the game. Swordsman. Still in here, are ya? It's been the better part of an hour. Gafgarian, you forget yourself, sir. You are in the presence of the princess. Mayhap bowed heads would less offend. You would do well to waste less time on idle pleasantries. I see even now the noble order of the northern sky cannot rid itself of vulgar knaves. A guard captain in these rain-sodden hinterlands ought not expect chivalry. We are in employ of the order, not of it. Our pay does not cover trite courtesies to the likes of you. Govern your tongue. Enough. Let us be on our way. The Father watch over you, child. And you, Hilda. Oh boy. Drama already. Milady, the enemy is upon us. Duke Goltana's men. We are paid for this. Time to earn our keep. What is it, Ramza? You're above getting paid to do a job. I am a knight no longer, just another sellsword. Right then, to battle! Deliver us, O Lord. Phil Lamar plays Ramza? Yeah, I know. It's crazy, isn't it? Samurai Jack, Hermes from Futurama, Static Shock. Oh, yeah. He's such an incredible voice actor. The fact that they got him for this is so good. There are a lot of you who may have seen this battlefield before. Like, a lot of you. This has been redone and referenced and reused and done in art and everything in so many different places. It's... Okay. They bear the crest of the Black Lion. Duke Goltana must be mad. Does he mean to start a war? You there, wench. You cannot hope to defeat us. You will surrender the princess. If not, well, I would hate to see anything happen to that pretty face of yours. Yeah, like, anyone here could take Agrias. Nuh-uh, no way. A head-on assault. These swords of Goltana. Lackwits, one and all. In that case, we should be able to handle this without you, Gafgarian. Mayhap you could. There's no money to be made in that. Lad Ramza, with me. And here we go. Oh. Objective: defeat all enemies. Now, as this is our tutorial fight, there's only one character that we control here, and that is Ramza himself. So, there's going to be a lot of just letting the AI do its thing here, but that's fine. That's fine. Kill them all! Leave no man standing. You would have us slaughter them? Are you mad? Kill them here and you'll have played into Dugoltana's hands. We need only put them to rout. I find dead men rout more easily. So we can see the characters of Gafgarian and Agrias here. Gafgarian being a fell knight, not even a dark knight, a fell knight. Alright, and here he is, Ramza himself. Okay, so, for those of you who are familiar with tactics games and have seen me play tactics games on the channel, such as Triangle Strategy, some of this should be familiar to you. Triangle Strategy is almost exclusively inspired by Final Fantasy Tactics and Tactics Ogre, which was made by the same team. So, we have move, we have act, we have weight, we have status, all that type of good stuff. Something to note. Tactics is hardcore. If you move somewhere, and you say move here, you cannot take it back. You need to be sure that you want to move somewhere. So, we're going to move up next to Gafgarian, cover our left flank, and then let's see what abilities we have available to us. This is slightly random. The game gives you slightly different abilities every time you start the game for this fight. So, unfortunately, we do not have throw stones, so there's not actually a whole lot that we can do here. But what we can do is look at our abilities. So we can see we have Rush, which is just a tackle, basically. Salve, so we can cure blind, silence, and poison. And Chant, we can sacrifice some of our HP to restore twice as much to an ally. Very useful. Ramza has a bit of a support theme going on with his basic class, but for now we are going to wait. And like in many strategy games and many tactics games especially, your facing is very important. So, if an enemy is trying to attack you directly, they will have a harder time hitting you, you'll have an easier time dodging, all that type of good stuff. Certain abilities will be harder to proc, that type of thing. So we're going to face them head on, like men, and we're going to go from there. So, as you can see, Agrias and Gafgarian both are Spellblades. They have special abilities beyond just hitting things with their swords, and it makes them awesome. We have a knight casting a potion on an archer. Not bad, not bad. Decent play. Ow, that's actually big damage that's about to go on our knight there. So all of the archers are going for charge, which is actually kind of scary. They'll take more damage while they're charging, but if they have the opportunity to get their cast, quote-unquote, off, they will fire an arrow that'll do significantly more damage than their regular attack. Lad with the instant cast fire. Nice. Unfortunately, he used fire in the rain, which causes fire damage to deal less damage, but what are you going to do? Ooh! Yeah, 52 this early on is no joke. Fortunately, we have Gafgarian, who is a monster. And you can see there, those blue numbers, Gafgarian heals for whatever damage he deals with that attack. He's just nasty, and he's so hard to kill. Like you can see here on our screen, we have our HP, MP, and our CT, which is basically when our turn comes up. Ramza, who's not squishy by any means, has 152 max health. Gafgarian, 213. Not messing around. That is due to his armor. Armor in this game typically is not increasing your defense, but is giving you more health to simulate you being harder to kill and more defensive. So, Gafgarian has really strong armor for this point in the game. And same thing for Agrias, actually. Agrias, you can see, is a Holy Knight, in contrast to Gafgarian's Fell Knight. And then we just have some other generic knights here with us. Alicia, who's got pretty bad armor, actually, and is half dead from one arrow. Pretty brutal. And Lavian, who is a little healthier, still has pretty bad gear. And then Lad, who is a Squire, your basic starting class, which is what Ramza is as well. No slowdown, amazing. I know, right? Isn't it so good? Game kind of rips off triangle strategy, shaking my head. This guy. Alright, so we might actually be able to kill this archer. He only has 21 health out of 63. Even though we could get the back attack on this archer, which is pretty much a guaranteed hit, he's at full health. So I think we're going to go here and have Ramza take a big swing on this archer. Nice. 49 damage, which is, again, a lot at this point in the game. That's over 2/3 of the archer's health. 100% chance to hit. He's done. Alicia gonna go in and get her revenge. Nice. Wah! Yeah, I know. The death cries in this. Oh. They were way, like, crisper and more brutal, as were the, like, weapon impact sounds in the PS1 version. The unfortunate nature of the PSP is that some of the sound effects and everything got compressed, but not, like, to a noticeable degree that it ruins the game or anything, so. Woo! Good block. Okay, hit from the front, but by a significantly weaker attack, so no big deal. You can see this is not exactly a difficult fight. Gafgarian or Agrias alone could probably solo this entire fight, so the fact that we have both of them together, plus 2 knights, plus Ramza, it's just no contest. Alright, we're not really going to be able to do a whole lot here, unfortunately. We can have Ramza go here next to our knight and chant for her, though, to give her some HP. Nice! So we lose 30, she gains 60. All in all, a good trade. Bum 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 ba dum bum ba dum bum ba dun dun da. Agrias, as you can see, has a slightly lower damage output. However, well, actually, she also doesn't. Oof. Well, there goes our sword. Rip. She also doesn't heal, but she can hit in an area with her attack as opposed to Gafgarian, who can only hit a single target. And she has the opportunity to actually cast Stop on someone when she hits them with that, which is really nasty. And like that, the fight is done. So yeah, you may have seen there, the knight broke our weapon. That is something that they do. That's like all knights do in this, is they rend equipment and stats. It's brutal.
The princess.
This way. Be quick. And try making a little less noise.
I'll not take orders from you.
You've quite a mouth on you, princess. Forgive me. 'Tis your birth and faith that wrong you, not I.
Hold there!
Is it truly him?
cannot be.
Delita, he lives? But why does he fight under the banner of Duke Goltana?
So you might remember from the intro, Delita is the hero of the story in universe, but Ramza is our hero, so very important. The loss of the 50 Years' War saw knights returning from the front stripped of livelihood, their fealty to the crown and nobility abandoned. Many became rogues and traitors, men donning the thief's cloak and plotting treason against the crown. It was a time of great unrest for Ivalice. Murder and theft were commonplace. Many were the young adventurer and mage who stepped forward to counter this threat. Of such, the city of Garland, too, saw its share. Chapter 1, The Meager. So this is a flashback from what we just saw. This is Ramza remembering things. And we are at the Royal Military Academy at Garland. There you go. So if two characters have chant, can you get infinite healing? Absolutely you can, except until the release of this version of the game, Ramza was the only playable character who could get chant. Now there is one other character that you can get who shares Ramza's base class. So, yeah, if you want, you can heal back and forth forever. But, because there's only two characters that can do it, it's not really, like, the most useful thing. And there's way better healing that you can get pretty quick, so. But this is an old game. This came out in 1997. They weren't as worried about very particular game balance and things like that, so there's a lot of ways to break this game if you know what you're doing. So we won't be going into that, but yes, things like infinite chance, for example. Probably not something that you'd be allowed to do in most modern games, but here, absolutely. Another Wayne was struck last night on its way to Egros. The Corpse Brigade again? Also, apologies if you hear the AC, it kicked on while I was muted for that cutscene. I wonder where all this leads. Delita, what do you make of this? I'm not sure. I have my guesses, but I'm listening. I think Duke Log is coming to Garland. Duke Log? Why? Not just the Duke. The Marquis Umdor de Limberry, too. That's the first I've heard of it. This has not the sound of a state visit. All Vivalis is in turmoil. The Order's supposed to be keeping things under control, but the fact is, they number too few. And they mean to bolster their numbers with us. All right, everyone, form up. The Order of the Northern Sky has an assignment for its Knight's Apprentice. As I'm sure you're already aware, the number of brigands roaming Galleon is on the rise. Among them, the Corpse Brigade, a seditious lot with a grudge against the Crown. Rogues such as they must be dealt with. The Order's been commanded to undertake an operation to eliminate the Brigade, an operation of a grand scale. We will not be acting alone. The Order will be joined by, among others, His Excellency Duke Log's Royal Guard stationed at Egros. This will leave Egros Castle undemanned. Your task will be to proceed there and support us from the rear by bolstering its defenses. You know it's not a good time when they're already drafting the apprentices into very likely to be combat roles just because there's not enough guys to go around. The time to take up arms is upon you, young apprentices. I've just received word that a band of thieves routed by our knights flees here to Garland, seeking refuge. We will move to stop them and finish the task of our brothers. You, young apprentices, will accompany us. This is but a small battle before the storm. Or this is but a squall before the storm of battle, even. Prepare yourselves at once. Dismissed. So, as with any good JRPG, our first proper battle is going to be against brigands. But this is a very different first JRPG battle against brigands. You'll see. I'm just going to go make a separate file down here. Ramza, I'm pretty sure I remember myself being more buff, riding a platinum chocobo with 2 girls on each arm. Agrius in one and Ovelia in the other. No, Ramza's not that kind of guy. And here we see the battle preparation screen. What's that? You're used to being able to see the playable map before you deploy your units? You're spoiled, friends. No, you don't get to see what the terrain is that you're going into. You just have to guess. So we can see our starting squad here. Ethelbert the Squire, who's looking pretty shameful, really. There's 2 stats here that I'm looking at for Ethelbert. Under Squire, you can see Bravery and Faith. These are more esoteric stats than you might be used to in games such as this, but are some of the most important. Bravery dictates how much damage you do with certain types of weapons, namely greatswords and like actual like punching martial arts melee, among other things, but those are the 2 primary ones. And it also dictates how often your abilities like counter go off. It's not just a guarantee. No, you only have a % chance of activating things like that, and that's dictated by your bravery. Your faith dictates how much damage you deal and how much you are dealt damage by magic, and how effective you are with getting things like status effects or even things like raise to go off. That's right, you want to raise an ally? But it's only a % chance that it's going to work, my friend, unless you've got really high faith. So generally speaking, you want your melee fighters, your knights, your things like that, to have high bravery and low-ish faith, unless you're going for some sort of a spellblade build. And you want your casters to have high faith, and I mean, high bravery too is always good, but high faith so that they're dealing a lot of damage, and you actually successfully have their spells go off. Abelard here has better bravery. We're going to go ahead and put him in. Isilton. Ah, this is nice. Isilton is a chemist. Chemists are your initial healers. They don't use magic. They are actually a class dedicated to using items. Any class can use items if they have the ability equipped, but chemists specialize in it and get a bunch of bonuses with it. And they are also your class that will eventually level into mages. So, Isilton having 68 faith, pretty good. We'll go ahead and put him in. Now, of course, we don't just have guys, but we have ladies as well. Serendipity the Squire, very cool, I like that name. And Letitia the Squire, who's just better in every way than Serendipity. That is rough. 71 bravery, 61 faith is pretty nice for a starting unit. And then Giselle, the chemist. 68 bravery, 66 faith is also pretty good. We'll put her in as well. Let's go. You teenagers who just picked up a sword, go enforce the law against these hardened war vets, right? Exactly. That's gonna go over well. And here we see the map. What have we here? We moppets, is it? Our luck's wit and turned for the better. Alright, lads, cut through these ones and we're good as fled. We'll make quick work of them. And don't be leaving no squealers behind neither. Alright. These bandits mean to make away with our lives and their freedom. Let's not let them. Hello, along. Make the male monk with 2 sword skills ASAP. Oh boy. Oh, I know. I don't think we're going to get anywhere near that far tonight. And we won't be at all, as this is going to be a one-shot. But that is absolutely a busted as hell way to build a character. Randomized starters is a choice? Oh yes. Yes it is. The good thing is, immediately after this battle, you can completely ditch your starter squad and recruit a bunch of new characters and re-roll them a few times to get different starting stats and stuff, so it's not too bad. Kafel Ramza. Remember, the well-aimed thrust pierces the mail. Don't patronize me, Delita. We Beowulfs know our way around a battlefield. Beowulf, was it? Heir to the noble house Beowulf, I'd wager. Looks like we have ourselves some apprentices from the academy. Well, highborn moppets is still moppets. Lay down your arms or die clutching them. None will mourn your passing. And you mean to make us do that, then? You're in far over your little heads. So, as in the previous mission, Delita is a guest. Now, we do control the rest of our characters, but Delita's going to go and do as Delita does, and that's often run in and get himself killed, but sometimes he'll surprise you. Sometimes. Not a lot of the time. Delita is a squire in much the same way that Ramza is a squire, and our characters here, what were their names? Letitia and Abelard are squires, but Ramza and Delita have a unique version of squire that comes with that chant skill, as well as a few other things, including better stats, so they're not quite on equal footing with our generics. Other things to note with this game. I'm trying to remember how I can... There we go. Rotate my camera. Other things to note with the game. Permadeath is a thing. You'll see when someone goes down, we'll go over that. But it is absolutely a thing. And like Delita said, the well-timed thrust pierces the mail. If you don't go in with intention and a plan, you will just get murdered. This game is unforgiving. However, as you can see here, Ramza is a little bit stronger than this random female generic squire, so... And you can see there we gained experience and job points. Experience is, of course, your classic leveling up your personal level. Job points are what level up your jobs, which is something that you should be familiar with if you know anything about Final Fantasy, and is, of the two, the more important form of leveling. Delita here took a hit, so we're going to go ahead and give him a potion. Potions heal for 30, so it'll waste a little bit, but better to keep him up. And you can see our chemist here is actually able to throw items, which is one of the unique advantages that they have. So, very handy. We aren't going to do it here, because I'd rather just stick close to the action, but very useful. And he gained a level. I guess he was extremely close to leveling. Damn. Even your XP is randomized at the start of the game. Alright, Abelard. Get in there, cover Delita's flank. Now, the good thing about this position right here is we have the water next to us. It's generally debilitating to be in the water. You can move through it, but it will slow your movement. It's possible, depending on the depth of the water that you can see in the top right there, that you won't be able to take any actions. And generally, it negatively impacts your ability to avoid attacks and sometimes your accuracy. So, you don't really want to be in water, and if you can force the enemy into water, you're at an advantage. So, Abelard, you're going to chill here. Probably, yeah. Unfortunately, nothing useful in terms of skills, so he can just wait. My condolences to those who rolled poorly on their first playthrough, didn't realize they could do better. Yeah. It's not like the end of the world, and you do have ways to manipulate those stats, so... But if you can find yourself getting lucky, it'll help. Just a little boost. Letitia here is going to go and support Ramza, and our other chemist, I think, is just going to kind of hover and wait to see where she's needed. If chemists level into mages, do chemical engineers level into artificers? You know, they might just... Delita going for the side attack, always a good choice, unless it puts you in a particularly disadvantageous position. Chemist going for the potion, fair enough. It is not uncommon for people who have never played this game before and aren't, like, very experienced with tactics games to have this first fight absolutely crush them and have to start over. That is 100% a thing that can happen. Not quite. Unfortunately, our starting squire is kind of weak, and this one only has a dagger, which is much weaker than a basic sword. So, not a lot of damage here, but we do have the kind of boss of the group cut off, which is good. And in fact, we're going to go for the surround on him here. Ramza can easily handle this squire on the right. And we can finish him off. Beautiful. Easy. As you can see, you get more experience for a kill than you do for simply engaging with the enemy. And people are doing okay HP-wise, so I think we're just going to have our chemist engage the squire here. Chemists, obviously... not a super adept at martial combat, but early on in the game they wield knives, so they can be sort of on par with your squires, so when it comes down to it, they can get a little damage in. Ramza not quite able to get behind the Squire from this position. We could have him go here, but this Squire is actually defending, so hitting him from the front is going to be difficult. And unfortunately, there's too much of a height advantage, or not an advantage, but difference here. This difference of 5, we cannot hit with our sword. That is too much of a height difference. So, same thing here, I believe, if I remember correctly, 4 is too much. Let me see. Yeah, I believe it's only a height difference of 2 for the broadsword, so... Unfortunately, not a whole lot that can be done there, but... we can at least move up, menace him, keep him from moving up on our chemist. What's our hit chance? Well, it's still 90. We can go for it. Nice! Better than I would have expected, honestly. Alright, our chemist friend here, kind of gumming up the works so he can come over here and get a better position. Ramza taking a hit there, that's fine. He's got the HP to handle it. If you suddenly heard a YouTube video going off in the background, that was Jane's computer. She switched off of her headset and it immediately switched to her speakers. It's okay. No worries. It happens all the time. No worries, love. It's all good. Squire going for the back attack on our chemist. Not really doing a lot of damage because she has a dagger. And in fact, our 2 chemists together should easily be able to do enough damage to take down the Squire. Not in this turn, but like, together, they'll be able to beat her. Now, this enemy chemist can be a bit of a pain. So if we can, we want to kind of start putting damage into him and either kill him or get him to run. Then we can worry about dealing damage to the Squires without him healing them constantly. Gonna have to just go with the attack from the front here, which against Squires, again, not a big deal. Other units, like later in the game with better equipment, this, you may as well just not even bother. Like, they will have such a high chance to evade. Also, if anyone has any questions at any point, please do let me know. I'd be happy to answer them. I can give you pretty much any answer you could possibly want for any question you could possibly have with this game, so do not be afraid to ask. You can put your animal crackers there, honey. It's okay. You exist in the apartment. You don't have to be silent as a mouse, you know? It's fine. I appreciate your concern, but, like, live your life. Jane is going to be working on a wig in the background, so... Ah, Delita going for the Rush. Nice. Rush is a Squire-specific ability, scales based off of your physical attack damage and your bravery, and has a 100% chance to hit. It also will not activate any counter abilities that the unit might have, but its damage is variable. It might say it's going to deal 18 there, but it could deal 9. It could deal 3. It can kind of go all over the place, so it's not exactly reliable. Now, we do have this Squire who's moved up on us, which is a little bit of a pain. But our chemists can finish this Squire off and then heal themselves and or each other if necessary. Now, something I want to highlight as well before he goes away. You can see these downed enemy Squires actually have little numbers above their bodies. That is the turn count before they are no longer able to be revived, and they will turn either into a treasure chest and drop a piece of loot, or into a crystal that you can then move over, or the enemy can move over, and absorb to regenerate completely their HP and MP, or acquire some of the abilities that that unit had, which is, as I'm sure you can imagine, extremely useful. So we're going to try to, if he turns into a crystal anyway, commodify this guy's soul. Doesn't sound great, but it is what it is, man. And maybe we can learn an ability off of it. Now, the question is... mean, really, we just want to keep wheeling on the chemist, honestly. Oof, nice crit. You know, we're going to leave that spot open, actually. We're going to need Ramza's damage to outdo the chemist's healing, because he will just heal forever. Jane's sabotaging the stream. Wow. Always, always, always the things that I got to deal with in this house. Down goes the squire. Beautiful. Ramza getting in there. Gonna deal some big damage to this chemist. And down he goes. Beautiful. Face down in the water. A worse fate you couldn't imagine. Yeah, so as I'm sure you can probably imagine based off of what I just said about it, you only have a few turns if one of your units goes down and you want to res them before they're dead forever. So that's definitely something that you're going to want to keep in mind while you're navigating a battlefield. Nice to meet you, Tom, from Indonesia. Well, nice to meet you as well, Along. Thanks for joining us. Good to see another Tactics fan. Oot and a boot. Run, Mr. Chemist, run! Now, something that is nice is if you have a unit who's down and you end the mission, they don't die even if they were on, like, 0 on their turn counter, which is the absolute minimum that they can get to. As long as you end the mission, they'll come back. Good as new. So, when in doubt, try and rush and finish the mission. Coincidentally, I'm a streamer who plays Final Fantasy Tactics too. Ah, very nice, very nice. There's literally dozens of us. No, it's always good to see people respecting the OG. I just had to do this when I realized yesterday that it was the 25th anniversary today. I needed to show the game off for people, so thank you for joining us. Oh shit, he's doing it, says Light. I am. Just doing a one-shot tonight. Just showing the game off for the anniversary, but you know. Honest work would see them die old in bed. Yet they choose instead this early grave. Why persist in such folly? Oh, if only you knew, Ramza. If only you knew. Don't you hate it when you die and your flesh transmutes into a box-shaped piece of wood with your coin purse inside? Oh, I know, it's just the worst, man. 500 gil for finishing the mission, and rewards! So, the amount of money that you get is based off of the level of the enemies that you are fighting. And then, the story battles will often give you, well, they'll pretty much always give you a reward. And it's always the same reward. Those rewards are set in stone, so you're always going to get like 2,000 gil, a mithril knife, some potions, a phoenix down from that fight. And here we are at the world map. You'll be spending a lot of time here, my friends, so get used to it. That is here in American say oot and a boot. Oh, absolutely. I say it all the time. I'm surprised you haven't heard me say it before. My buddy who is a veteran told me Monk was overpowered in this game. I'm new to FF Tactics as well. Oh, boy, oh, boy. Well, I hope you've been enjoying your experience with it then. Yeah, Monk is busted in this. It's so good. We in Indonesia did the same thing. We respected the JRPG games a lot from the PS1, like the Suikoden series. Oh my god, I'm so glad to see someone mention Suikoden. One of my absolute favorite series, and I've been hoping to do it on the channel for a long, long time. It's just a matter of finding the time. But god, I love Suikoden so, so much. Pardon your English? Nah, don't worry about it. It's all good, man. It's all good. Alright, so one of the things that we can look at here in the world map is our party roster. You've probably seen this before, or something very much like it. You will also be spending a lot of time here, as this is where you're going to be able to customize all of your characters, and you will be doing it all the time. So, what are some of the things that we can change here? Of course, we can change our equipment. Ramza has pretty much the best stuff that he could have at this point in the game, which is still pretty bad, but I mean, he's got a broadsword, which is better than a regular dagger. It's on the same level as a mithril knife, so, you know. So he doesn't need to change any of his equipment, but what we can do is we can modify his abilities. And this is where some of the real meat and potatoes of the game comes out. So you can do a lot of build crafting in this game, as you can actually set 2 different class abilities based off of the jobs that you have spent time in with that character. So, for example, Metal is Ramza's main class ability for Squire, his special version of Squire. What we can do here is we can go into Assign, and you can't change that first ability. That's dictated by whatever class you're currently in, or whatever job you're currently in. But we can go in here to the second one, and we see Items, which is the Chemist job ability. So we can actually equip that, and now Ramza will be able to use potions, hopefully, if he knows how to use them. What do you mean if he knows how to use them, Tom? Everyone knows how to use items. Not in Final Fantasy Tactics, they don't. Oh, no. So you can see, we can go in here to learn, and you can see all of the jobs that we currently have available to us. Right now, Squire and Chemist. Every character starts off with Squire and Chemist, or if they're a unique character, they might have a different job instead of Squire, like, say, Agrias from the very first mission of the game has Holy Knight instead of Squire. So, we go in here to Squire, and we can see these are all of the different abilities that we're able to learn. We use our JP that we earn in battle to learn these abilities. They're not just arbitrary points that dictate when we level up in our jobs. They're actually a resource that we utilize to choose which abilities we're going to learn. So, what abilities you unlock and when, and for what characters, can drastically change the experience that you have with the game and how any given character plays, which is one of my favorite things about it. If you've ever heard me talk about like building characters and leveling them up and designing the way that something plays, this is what I'm talking about. It's so, so good, and it's why I'm glad that certain games like Fire Emblem in recent years have been incorporating more of that into it. Leveling through different classes to get abilities from it before you switch to a different class and synergizing those abilities together. It's my favorite thing to do. So, we can see a lot of different abilities here. We don't need to go into all of them. All you really need to know is that Squire is a class or a job that you're going to want to have every character go into at one point or another. It is the foundation upon which all characters are built, because it has some of the best foundational abilities. Those 2 abilities are JP Boost, which literally increases the amount of JP you get in battle, which, for anyone who knows anything about economy in games or leveling in games, you know right off the bat this is possibly the best ability in the game, because it lets you get other abilities faster. And Move +1, which literally just increases your move space by 1, which in a strategy game, positioning is everything. We cannot learn any of these yet, but that's fine. That's fine. We'll get there in time. What we're going to do instead is we're going to learn Stone, which you may have heard me lament us not having on any of our characters. The reason for that is it is our very first ranged attack. You can see it has a range of 4. Stone is really, really nice. It just lets you huck a rock at something. You just scoop a pebble off the ground and throw it at someone. It does very little damage, but it's still damage. It has the ability to knock characters back on a random chance, which can be very, very useful. And most importantly, it means that you're always able to gain some experience and some JP, which is vital in this game. There are so many jobs and so many abilities, you always want to be gaining experience and J points, job points. So, we're going to pick up Stone for Ramza here, and on every other character that we can pick it up on. Chemist, I mean, if you've played a JRPG, you know these skills. Like, you know what a potion is, a high potion, an X potion. Ethers and high ethers restore your MP. Elixir restores all of it. Antidotes cure poison, etc., etc., etc. You know what these are. The 2 that we're going to pick up on pretty much every character when we have the opportunity are Phoenix Down, so anyone can res anybody, and Potion, so anyone has at least a basic heal. There are a few other skills in Chemist that you would like to pick up. Throw items is really nice if you want to be able to huck things from a distance. Treasure Hunter is cool. It allows you to randomly find items when you're just moving around. And defensively, Auto Potion is busted. It just gives you a chance when you get hit to use the weakest potion in your inventory to heal yourself for some of the damage that you just took. Extremely useful. It's expensive, but it can make your life a whole lot easier. What's up, darling? Just watching me pop off about my favorite game? Yeah. Well, I hope that you are enjoying me, enjoying me rambling. How do I know so much? Well, I mean, I've been playing this game literally my entire life, and I've probably played it 30 times through, so maybe not complete playthroughs every time, maybe like 20 complete playthroughs and like 10 more incomplete playthroughs, but like, I know this game inside and out. Cosplay?
Oh, maybe.
So, I don't want to hear it. We have a big JRPG community in Indonesia, and I am one of the members. Nice! Very good, very good. You're like the minority because many people here like MOBA and FPS games. Nobody likes JRPG, though. It's such a shame, but it's good to know that there's holdouts in every nation, in every community, in every culture. Because JRPGs are just so good. Barbarian. There's a strange porous piece of wood between me and the health juice. Guess I'll make the party cleric heal me. Exactly, exactly. This is one of those, like, you have researched breathing type of games, where it's like, what should be the most obvious of things that anyone should know, you've got to learn it. Tom, if you've played a JRPG, you know what these are. Me. Yeah, totally. It's okay, Epic. Everyone learns with time. So, Ramza now has the ability to heal himself and resurrect allies. He has the ability to throw stones, because, like I said, you would think anyone could just pick up a stone and throw it at somebody, but you got to learn how to do that in this game. And he's pretty much as equipped as we can make him. I can tell you at a glance here that Ethelbert cannot learn anything. Abelard cannot learn anything. Iselton cannot learn anything. Actually, what we can do, though, is make sure that these characters have these abilities on. Iselton actually coming with Treasure Hunter. That's nice. Serendipity cannot learn anything. Letitia can learn something. She can actually get stone. Very nice. Very nice. And Giselle cannot learn anything. Now, guests you can handle pretty much however you want. They're only going to be deployed in story battles, but some people like to just take all of their stuff and basically make it so that they go hide in a corner the entire time so they don't take XP. But I mean, it's so easy to get experience in JP, it's really not a huge deal in my opinion. So I like to at least make sure that they're a little bit kitted out so that they're useful. Now, you'll notice here, Delita actually has access to 2 different classes that none of our other characters do, and that's because he's at Squire level 2. He can access Knight and Archer. So, we're going to go down here to the job tree really quick, or the job circle as it is in this game. And you can see, these are the different jobs that are available to us. This was the coolest part of the game to me when I was a kid. Like, just something about the fact that you could just go through all these really cool, unique-looking different classes with a character and just say, I want them to be this one now, was so exciting to me. I loved that. And I still love it to this day. So we can look and we can see, say, Knight. We can hit select on it to see some details about it. Notably, it tells us that the prerequisite for it. Brittle Hollow. The prerequisite for Knight is Squire level 2. All of the different jobs that you can get throughout the game have different prerequisites that you must achieve before you can get them. Some of them are pretty basic, like this. Some of them are far more advanced, requiring 3 or more different classes of varying levels to be able to access them. So, for now, though, we're going to leave Delita as a Squire because we don't need him to be doing anything else. So is there party XP/JP after battles, or do low-level members have to earn their keep? Nope. Well, okay, sort of. Low-level members who don't get deployed don't get anything. People who are in a fight will actually get a small portion of the JP that other characters earn for their class. So, like, over time, your chemist will actually wind up with a bunch of Squire JP because of all the Squires running around doing their things. It's only a small percentage, but it builds up over time. So it's not like you can never gain any JP out of your job, which is useful. Anyone who's just sitting on the bench, though, and didn't participate in the fight, they don't get squat. So, yeah. You kind of want to be choosy about what characters you use and when, so you can make sure you can keep them up to speed. So are you Canadian or American, or... I am American. Canadian animator guy, as you might be able to guess, is Canadian, but no, I am American through and through. Alright, so... yeah, we may as well save. We haven't done a whole lot, but, you know, it's enough. Already an hour and 13 minutes in. Jeez, how the time flies. So we can see here, we are at a town, and at towns you're able to do different things. Different things depending on what town it is, actually. We can go to the tavern, which is very cool. Here we can see things like rumors, which are where you're going to get a lot of your background lore about the world, and how you're also going to actually unlock certain side quests and other things that you can do. So none of that in this beginning chapter, but there is cool, interesting stuff to read about. We won't go through all of this just because it's not super pertinent to anything that we're going to be doing tonight, but we can read the Corpse Brigade, because we did hear about that. Brigandry is on the rise across the land, and Galleon has by no means been spared. Wains are struck and pillaged, high-ranking officials taken at sword point. Most of the incidents of this past 6 months are believed to be the work of a company of felons and former sellswords known as the Corpse Brigade. In the original, it was the Dead Men, which I definitely kind of like more. It's just so brutal, but Corpse Brigade is pretty brutal too, so... Corpse Brigade is cool. It is oft said the only good brigand is a dead brigand, and the Order of the Northern Sky would like naught more than to see the brigade made corpses for true. But as yet, it is all the knighthood can do to keep the outlaws in check. So there you go. And those are the guys that we just dealt with were members of the Corpse Brigade. Oftentimes, you'll notice, as you go through the game, enemy units will actually be color-coded, so it's not like enemy squires are just always green. That's not the case at all. Enemy units are absolutely color-coded, depending on their allegiance. So, like, green units oftentimes are going to be, in this first chapter, members of the Corpse Brigade, and then in the game in general, just kind of generic brigands and outlaws. Brito Hawo says fine.
Brito Hawo.
He's as American as maple syrup and beaver tails. Yep, sounds about right. Julian FF14 says, it's just now hitting me that Square Enix isn't doing anything regarding FFT's 25th anniversary. No announcements or anything. My disappointment is immeasurable, but I'm glad you're celebrating it. Cheers. Absolutely. Cheers to you as well, Julian. I had to do something. If there had been some sort of announcement, everyone who follows any of like my social media or the channel would have absolutely heard about it, but unfortunately, we got to do it ourselves. I do hold out hope that there is going to be an announcement of some kind, since there was tactics named in that big NVIDIA leak a while back, and a lot of that leak has come true. And it did get leaked that something is happening with Tactics Ogre, and if something's happening with Tactics Ogre, I would not be surprised if something was happening with Tactics itself, but unfortunately, we have no confirmation of any of that. So for now, we've got the OG, and that'll just have to be enough. Alright, other things that you can do at the tavern are Melee and Rendezvous, which are new to the War of the Lions version. I say new, as if War of the Lions didn't come to the PSP in 2007, but, you know. They're multiplayer modes, which are actually super cool, and I've not really had the opportunity to do a whole lot of. Melee is PvP against your friends, which is super cool, and it's actually nice, because it's not just something you can do for fun, but there's actually unique loot that you can get from it that you can only get from those modes, and it's pretty cool stuff, so it gives you an incentive to go do it and play against your friends. Rendezvous is a co-op mode in like 15, I think, maybe, different handcrafted, unique missions. A lot of them taking place on maps that you know if you've played the game, but against unique challenges and enemies that you never would have faced before. Some of them created specifically for the mode that, again, you can get a bunch of unique loot for. So it's a really, really cool thing. Not something I got to do a lot of, and I think most people got to do a lot of. But if you have the opportunity to play on a PSP with a friend, it's worth it. It's so cool. There are other things that you can do at the tavern as well, but those are not available to us at the moment. The Outfitter is just your generic merchant. You can come here and you can buy stuff. This early in the game, there's not a whole lot to buy. However, a little bit of a spoiler for some of the jobs that we're going to get down the line. A rod can be used by particular mages, black mages, perhaps, summoners, mystics. You can actually see what all the classes in the game are if you look at equipment like this, because it'll list off who can use it. But so we can get a rod that can be used by black mages and other folk, and an oak staff, which is used by white mages, amongst others. So very cool stuff. Leather caps, clothing, just generic armor that all of our characters already come with, and some potions and whatnot, which we're actually going to pick up a few of. It's always good to have extra potions on hand. Now, if this is a full, like, Let's Play or just personal playthrough or whatever, we'd probably spend some time in the Warriors Guild. And you may remember I alluded to this back in that first fight, but you can actually come here and you can recruit different soldiers, male and or female, and they'll both come in as squires, but you can kind of re-roll to try and get characters with better brave and faith. Pretty much the only thing that changes for those re-rolled characters, everything else is dependent on the unit's gender and what class they are. So, but it's a good way to, at the start of the game, kind of get some better brave and faith values. And you can also rename them. So this is your opportunity if you want to have a squad made up of all your friends or your viewers, perhaps. Then this is where you can come in and make a bunch of characters that are based on them. Metroid fans on the 25th anniversary. Oh, God, right? At least we have that solidarity. Most that I did see was a post from May 2018 that had screenshots from the director of FFT himself regarding what would have been FFT2. Should I fetch the link? Sure, yeah, you can fetch it. Put it in chat. I've seen it before, but if there are other people who are curious, then it's a cool thing to check out. Classic UI spoilers, I know. Never use the guild in your playthrough. There's not a whole lot of reasons to do so, honestly. Like, the only other thing that you're going to do here is change the name of any monsters you potentially recruit, so... You'll use it probably once at the start of the game, and that's about it. Well, time to move on to the Mandalia Plain. But not. Sometimes the game will ambush you with scenes. A flashback in a flashback. Barbaneth Beowulf, a great hero in his own right, who had attained the distinguished title of Knight Gallant, approaches the hour of his death. So this is, of course, our father. The Beowulf Mance in the waning days of the 50 Years' War. So, not too long ago, but sometime in the recent past. What news of the war? The Order has struck a great blow. Limberia is ours once more. We will be able to recall our forces in Zeltania anon. All goes as planned, Lord Father. Be not troubled. The envoy dispatched to Advocate Lenario has returned. He has agreed to your proposal, Lord Father. Good. Very good. Then the war will die with me. For anyone who's seen my playthrough of Triangle Strategy or played the game for yourself or watched another playthrough, you're probably going to notice some immediate similarities between Barbaneth and Lord Simon, namely the ailing father thing. Ancient, well not ancient, but like aged, incredibly powerful warrior brought low by sickness and disease. Father? There now, Alma. Do you want my last memory to be of your tears? Absolutely something that you say to someone that is only going to make them cry harder. Where's that Ramza? He should be here at your side. Dystog, Zarbug, you are dear to me, but Ramza is no less so. Though he be not the issue of the womb that bore you, my sons, still my blood courses his veins. Watch after him. Lord Father! You forget yourself, Ramza. You have come. Good. Let me look once more on your face. Lord Father. How long has it been? You've grown into a fine young man. I would hear of your studies. You've been at the academy since spring, is it? Hear me, Ramza. For generations, we Beowulfs have stood foremost of those who serve the crown. Ours is the soul of the knight. Become a knight worthy of your name. Tolerate no injustice. Stray not from the true path. Remember that Ramza is the true hero, the one that went unknown in the shadows. Probably, has something to do with this. You will know the path you must walk. A Beowulf can walk no other. I will not fail you, Father. Your friend Alita, he is a good boy. He is lowborn, but he can serve you well. I've made arrangements for him to enter the academy. You should have seen the look on the headmaster's face. In the years ahead, you will need someone whom you can trust. You could do far worse than Delita. As you say, Father. Take care of your sister. And show these brothers of yours what it is to be a knight. And there we go. One of the most pivotal moments in Ramza's history. Hey, Star's here. Hello, Star. Thank you for joining us. We just need one more flashback for Inception. Yeah. Never cut off your ponytail. It looks amazing, just like mine. Always keep it with you. Ah, if only. A noble having children with someone besides their spouse. That's definitely never happened. Yeah. Yeah. Alright. Onward. Actually, no, we're going to save once again, because depending on the choice that you make here, you can very unfairly lose through very little fault of your own, so we're going to save just to be safe. And then we'll move on to the Mandalia Plain. Directly into another battle. So as you'll notice, we have 4 positions available. We had 5 previously, only 4 this time. One of which is, as one might expect from a JRPG, taken up by the game's request, I suppose, by Ramza himself. In every story mission, you have to bring Ramza. It is what it is, so just get used to it. He's really strong, so it's not like it matters, but... So we have room for 3 other units, and as such... I actually think we're going to bring Serendipity. The Brave and Faith difference really doesn't matter, and she has a broadsword as opposed to the dagger that Letitia has. I really should have switched it, but didn't really think about it, and it's not a huge deal, so we're going to go ahead and put Serendipity in, and then we're going to bring both of our chemists, because we're going to have plenty of firepower, you'll see. And we're going to want the extra healing. Remember when you predicted that in Triangle Strategy and the game was like, oh, lol, no? Which part is that? I don't remember which part you mean I predicted. Looks like this one's still alive. What do we do with him? What do you think we do with him? Right then. Your luck's run out, knave, if ever you had any. What's that about luck, you say? Blast! One of the Order's patrols. The Corpse Brigade. And they have a hostage in their midst. And this is where we see our first choice. The choices aren't hugely impactful. Like, you're not going to see any major story changes or anything based on these choices. Pretty much all they're going to do is potentially change what the objective of the map is. And they will also have a, not like huge impact, but a little bit of an impact on Ramza's bravery. So generally, I like to go with the choice that increases Ramza's bravery, which is generally speaking going to be pretty obvious as like the heroic and noble choice, like his father told us to do. So we must rescue their captive, which is going to make the fight harder for us, because if their captive dies in the fight, then we lose. But if we're lucky, he won't get himself killed. We'll see. Too bad this game isn't like Fire Emblem 6 where you have to use Roy and he promotes way too late. Oh my god, I know. Ugh. When they eventually remake Fire Emblem 6, I hope they change that part of it. Dear god. The part about Benedict having an affair with the queen. Oh my god, I really thought that that was going to happen, man. He clearly loved her. But, like, I legitimately thought that that was going to be a big reveal. We must rescue their captive. To do less would be unbecoming of men of the Order. And their captive is that man right there. Argath, who we now must protect. If we didn't choose that option and instead chose the other option, it would simply be to wipe out the enemy. Alright, Delita, get in there, bud. Unfortunately, 95% is not 100%. Reinforcements, and none too soon. Fortunately, Argath does actually do pretty decent damage here, but as you can see, he does start out surrounded, so he could wind up losing some HP pretty quick here, depending on what he and the AI do. Also, he unfortunately goes before these guys, so he doesn't get the opportunity to hit someone and then run. He has to sit there, so... Your assumption made sense, it just didn't work out like that. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like, I don't think anyone could fault me for making that assumption, you know? Come on, Argath, big dodge. Okay, well. Much like Rush, Stone has the, I think, 50% chance to only do half damage, which is, you know, is what it is. And everybody's throwing stones at each other. Holy smokes. Alright, Ramza. Ramza Belv. Not really sure which angle I like better here, but I know the angle I do like is the getting the hell in there angle, because we got to go save Argath. You'll notice a couple different things here. The enemy has a bunch of squires, no chemists, so they're not going to be doing a lot of healing unless the squires or something heal themselves. But they also have this cat-looking creature, and this fella, who's a little bit fancier looking than the rest. Let's actually take a look at them really quick, shall we? They have a red panther, who can actually do pretty decent damage. Monsters in this game can be quite scary, because their attacks pretty much scale equally with their bravery and their actual physical attack damage or their magic damage. So any monster that randomly rolls high bravery could do a shit ton of damage to you unexpectedly. So you kind of got to watch out for monsters, and if you can, put them down quickly and efficiently, because they could do a lot of damage. This one only has 40 bravery though, so probably not going to be too much of a concern. Something you also want to do, especially if you're kind of new to the game, is generally just go through all the characters and see what they have on them. This early on, they're pretty much only going to have scraps and knives, but as you go, they'll get better and better gear, different abilities that could actually be very impactful in the fight. So sometimes it's worth it to check that stuff. And this guy is actually a thief. Neither a squire, nor archer, nor knight, nor chemist, which are all the classes we've seen thus far, other than the unique ones. Thieves can be pretty nasty. Thieves actually have their damage with daggers scale off of speed. I mean, all daggers scale off of speed as well as their attack. But thieves are one of the only classes that actually have really good speed growth to make use of it. So a strong thief can actually have a surprising amount of damage output. They can, of course, also steal your equipment, which is very annoying. And they can actually charm characters as well, which can get really brutal. So thieves, especially early on, very good units to keep an eye out for. And go ahead and just run Ramza in here. We're going to wait. If you wait, your turn will come up faster, so there is that advantage going for you there. Generally, it's better to get the XP and SP, but right now we're kind of on a mission to go save Argath, so that's what I'm focused on. One more turn and we'll be able to get our chemists in range to start throwing potions at Argath. So with any luck, he's going to fall back. Nope! He's going to run right into the thick of it, as he always does. Okay, well. Fingers crossed. Okay, good. We were able to get Ramza to go. Ramza. I'll go back and forth between Ramza and Ramza. I've said both kind of equally over the course of my life, so. We're immediately going to potion Argath up so that he doesn't collapse on us. And then we're going to cover our flanks. Notably, covering your flanks here, not nearly as important as it is in Triangle Strategy. You're not going to have units get follow-up attacks on you like they do in Triangle Strategy. But it's still good to just give them fewer opportunities to put units on you to hit you. Oh, nice! Treasure Hunter actually found us an Oak Staff. That's pretty dope. When we eventually switch to a White Mage, we'll be able to put that on them. So yeah, just, you know, less sides open to hit is good. And also, you know, you generally want them to only be able to hit you in the front where you have the highest dodge chance anyway. Oof. Yeah, see, 18 damage with a knife is pretty brutal, actually. Ow, man. Jeez. The Squire's first go of it is not going super great for her. However, as soon as our turns come around... Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo! We're going to be able to just pick a target and blow it up, basically, so that's good. They're actually just going for the kill on her right now. All right. Better her than Argath, though. We can at least res her. If Argath goes down, it's immediately game over, so. Delita got poisoned. That's annoying, but what are you going to do? All right. We kind of got knocked around a little bit in that turn, but it's fine. We're alive. The voice you're giving Argath is great. Oh, you know it. Interesting that they show the enemy menuing. Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? I like it a lot. It's a nice little detail. The Ramza Ramza, indeed. Indeed. That is exactly what it is. Yeah, I mean, I think we just take this chance to heal our Squire, honestly. Unfortunately, does not heal her to full, so she really only has one good hit left in her, so we're going to try and get her in a position where she's covered from the most sides. And she can kill this guy, actually, so that's really good. Nice. Not in any immediate danger here, so we'll take the chance to deal some damage to the Thief. Which is not bad damage, actually. 12 is pretty decent. About a quarter of his health. Nice, Argath. Oh my god, the crit. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Damn. Okay, so we need to show this off. So Argath actually has an upgraded sword. He has a long sword, which is one tier better than the broadsword. So you might be tricked into thinking that Argath is just really strong, and he's not bad. I mean, you see he's got good brave, decent faith. But really, his damage is coming from that long sword. So, and we will be yoinking it off of him to give to one of our units after this fight. Spoiler alert. Okay, I think I'd like to try and take out the Thief if possible. Come on, Delita, go for the follow-up. Yeah, finish him off. Let's go. Going for the rush. Worth it. Beautiful. Thieves are the first class that also have a higher than basically nothing dodge chance from the front. So opportunities like that where you can actually get a 100% chance to hit them are worth taking if you can. Okay, yeah. See, as you can see here, this Panther does no damage because its bravery is so low, which is good for us. The last thing we need is Argath getting blown up by a stupid Panther. You can see I know these menus extremely well. Like, I do not need to look at what the menus actually say to be able to just go through and do whatever I need. We may as well use a potion here on Delita just to get the XP and JP. That's something you'll see me do a lot if you ever see me play more of this game. Potions are a great way for any unit to just get a little bit of extra XP and JP, and it keeps you patched up, so. Nice. We've got this one in the bag. Easy. Bateron's just hanging out back there because his HP is so low. As you can see there, our first counter in the game. All monsters have innate counter. They don't even need to equip it as an ability. They just come with it. So, there's another issue with fighting monsters. If you attack them in melee, you're pretty much guaranteed to take some damage in return. Delita with the chant. Very nice. Thank you, Delita, for the heal. Even though he's poisoned. Kind of silly. Argath going off, yes. You can just steal their weapons? Oh, yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Thieves have the ability to steal every type of equipment in the game. And actually, some of the best equipment in the game you can only get if you go out of your way to steal it off of bosses. So, generally speaking, as soon as you have the opportunity to, you want to choose someone who's going to be a thief and just level them in it. Because all of the thief skills have a pretty high JP cost. And those bosses that have good gear will start showing up faster than you might expect, so it's worth it to go for it as soon as you can. Similar games like Final Fantasy Tactics in PS1 games. Yes, Tactics Ogre is going to be your best option. Tactics Ogre is actually the game that was made by the same team who made Final Fantasy Tactics before they made Final Fantasy Tactics. And it was Tactics Ogre that caused Square to decide, hey, we want to hire these guys and have them make the Final Fantasy version of this for us, and that's how we got Tactics. So if you like Tactics, check out Tactics Ogre. Much like there's the War of the Lions version of Final Fantasy Tactics, there is Tactics Ogre Let Us Cling Together, which is a PSP version that completely overhauls the game, and it's phenomenal. It's so good. Or you could wait, as it has recently been leaked that there is something in the works with a remake of Tactics Ogre. It's called Tactics Ogre Rebirth, so you could just wait for that. You can see we're basically just waiting for an opportunity to hit this guy and turning money into XP while we can. But now he's dead. Now, in later fights, it is potentially worth it as well to stall things out and let a bunch of these bodies turn to crystals, or hopefully turn to crystals, so that way you can get their abilities. But I mean, here, like, no one has anything worth learning, so it's fine. Are you harmed? I'll be fine. It is for the Marquis's safety, I fear. The Marquis? The Marquis Elmdor de Limberry was here? And the very same, and to whom do I owe my gratitude? We are Knights Apprentice from the Academy at Garland. We may be able to help you, but first I would hear more. Alright, very nice. Yeah, Star knows, like, honestly more about the PS1 era of tactics games than I do, so he's gonna have some good suggestions for you, for sure. We got some potions and some money. Nice. Do. My name is Argath, a knight in His Excellency the Marquis Elmdor de Limberry's household. A knight, you say? Well, truth be told, I am a knight apprentice, as are you, if I'm not far mistaken. A fellow knight in training, then. I am Ramza Beelv, and this is Delita Hyrule, my trusted friend. Look at the sprite work here, like, just the expressions, the body language, it's so good. They did not at all need to go this hard, but it's so good. Beelv? You're not of the Beelvs of the Order of the Northern Sky, are you? What fantastic luck, a blessing in the midst of disaster. What? The Order can help me rescue the Marquis, it must! The Marquis is held captive. They took him hostage, yes, but he still lives. We must act quickly if he is to remain so. Should he be killed, I will lose everything. You simply must help me, please, I beg you. Calm yourself. Who's to say your Marquis is to be killed, anyway? The Corpse Brigade would not take a man alive, save there were value in keeping him so. Of that you can be sure. There's little the three of us can do to help in any case. If the Marquis was taken hostage, Egros will be in an uproar. You can be sure of that, too. Then before all else, we must report in to Egros. Are we agreed? Agreed, we'll start there. Your name, fine? Was your name used there? So many unique animations in this game. Oh yeah, they went off with the animations in this game. It's incredible. And I know for a fact that there's no fight here at Egros, so we're just gonna go. Hey, we've seen this guy before. I hear you were decorated for your first victory, Ramza. They sing your praise from on high. You do honor to our name, my brother, and to me. I am glad. Oh, you would not seem it. I am. Forgive me. Your words do me far more honor than I have done you. No doubt word has already reached you, but the Marquis de Limberry's carriage was laid and the Marquis taken. What have you a mind to do? I have already asked Zalbag to dispatch a squad in pursuit. These brigands must eventually come forth to demand ransom. That is, assuming the Marquis yet lives. I beg of you, Lord Beowulf, lend me 100 men that I might hunt the whoresuns down. Please, my lord, grant me means to avenge my fallen friends. Mayhap your ears fail you. I said that a squad is to be dispatched. You are not a man of Galleon. Leave her affairs to those of us who are. But my lord, do not assume to beg favors of me. Let me remind you, Argath, lest you forget your place. You are but another sword, not yet even knighted. The two of you will remain here at Egros and serve among the castle guard. You needn't worry. Danger is not like to visit these walls. Okay. No time I misunderstand. I guess I do. You simply must help me. Well, great voice acting, Tom. Yes. My own house was once respected as highly as House Beowulf, you know. At least until my grandfather was captured during the war. He turned traitor, thinking to buy his freedom with the lives of his friends. But his freedom scarce outlived his honor. He was not a dozen paces out their gate when the dagger found his back. Killed by some common squire, no more a knight than I. One of the men he betrayed later escaped and spread word of his misdeeds. My lord father would have none of it, of course, but he was the only one. Our bannermen deserted us, our reputation ruined. I suppose I had best remember my place. Your lord brother has no reason to lend ear to pleas from the likes of me. Delita! Tietra! Alma! Zalbag! Ramsay, you've come home. It's been some time, hasn't it, Zalbag? I heard about Garland. They say you made short work of those brigands. Now you've truly the right to call yourself a Beowulf. Father would be proud. Thank you, Lord Brother. Ha! Certainly haven't changed. God forbid you show a bit of cheer on being praised. And you, Delita, do not think word of your deeds escapes our ears. Your sister's been so full of pride I quite feared she might burst. Why not? My seams have held. I'm glad to see you looking so well, Delita. And I you. Have you settled in at school? Yes, the others here have all been quite kind to me. Would that we could speak at greater leisure, but there are duties that require my attendance. Rogues do not catch themselves. I understand. Good luck. We received a note of ransom from the Corpse Brigade. What? Something about it sits unwell with me. They are anarchists, to be sure, bent on bringing down the aristocracy. But they fancy themselves righteous and prey only on the nobility and those in our employ. Would such as they truly kidnap the Marquis for want of coin? Why wouldn't they? They're naught but common footpads. One of the men I planted among them has not returned. I worry he may be caught up in something serious, but there are those who do not think some mere spy worth a search party's efforts. Where was he last known to be? A merchant city named Dorter, in eastern Galleon. Guarding a castle grows dreadfully dull. Wouldn't you agree? Hint, hint, nudge, nudge, Lord Brother telling us to get out there and do some good. Forgive us, teacher. It seems we must be leaving sooner than we had planned. Oh, don't worry about me. Just take care of yourself. The hug. Again, so many unique animations in this game, man. What's up? Oh! We got a birthday gift, or an email for Trixie, apparently. I guess they... Is that a birthday that you told them, or that they knew that... Like... she had from before we got her.
I don't know.
Interesting.
That's not she was born in June or July.
Fair enough. I guess we have to celebrate Trixie's birthday.
I feel bad.
Why?
I didn't know.
Well, now you do. Now you do. It's okay. It's not like we had her from the moment she was born or anything, so.
Right. She's old.
She's still got plenty of vim and vigor left in her. Before you go to bed, because I know it's getting closer to that time, when did you, and do we want to do Outer Wilds tomorrow? If we do want to do Outer Wilds tomorrow, if you're not busy, what time would you want to do? Do you have any idea? Like normal 7:30, or? Okay, that works. Will you be around? Are you good to do that, or do you have other stuff you got to do? If you do, that's fine. We can figure out a different day to schedule it or whatever. It's totally okay.
Oh, we'll think about it.
Okay, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I will. Mind your studies. I'll go back before, or I'll be back even, before you've even noticed I'm gone. Let's be on our way. It's the family! Game's writing is so good. It really is, man. Every aspect of it. Oh. Ben says, happy birthday, Trixie! Really is square at their zenith. Oh, yeah. The commoners are trying to capture us. Do they have some sort of poor person reason I'm too rich to understand? Vim, vigor, victory! That's Trixie for you right there. Tom, you didn't personally give birth to Trixie? I know. Shocking, isn't it? Scandal in the streets.
Tietra puts on a brave face, but the truth is not as honeyed as her words.
What do you mean?
She has a hard time of it at school. The others tease her for being lowborn. Forgive me, I shouldn't have said anything. I'm sure you have worries enough of your own. Tietra will be all right. I'm here to look after her.
Then there is not to worry about.
But mind your own limits. You can't be responsible for everything. Says the brother who never fails to do any and all that is expected of him. Don't lose sight of yourself, Ramza. You needn't let your life be ruled by the fact that you were born a Beowulf.
Now you're starting to sound like Mother.
Ramza.
I love that we just get that moment, that lingering moment of the wind, and they're just watching concerned as we walk away. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so lots of things developed there, and we have on the sly been given a mission by Lord Brother, who doesn't quite rank above Dice Dog, but I mean, if he's hinting we should go, right? Now, we have some things to do here. First of all, we need to strip Argath of his sword and his boots. So, take that and that. Give those, or at least the sword, to Ramza. And we can give the boots to Abelard here. And actually, we're going to give him the broadsword, because it has pretty much exactly the same effectiveness as the knife. So we can give the knife to our chemist here. You can oftentimes use the optimize function, but as you get later in the game, there's going to be times where you want to manually do things because, like, you might want to use a piece of armor that the game considers inferior and wants to replace, but it has stats or some sort of effect on it that you want or things like that. So now Ramza has the big sword, so he's going to be dealing even more damage, and he has the battle boots. Well, he has a pair of battle boots. We already had one on him, but those are really nice because they actually increase your move by 1. Extremely strong accessory. Going to carry you through the first part of the game for sure. Is that the same wind sound effect as Chrono Trigger? It might be. It might be. I wouldn't be surprised if they had a sound bank that they drew on for stuff like this. Sounds really similar. Yeah, it probably is. We also need to make sure that Argath has a weapon. Probably not a dagger, honestly. Let's pop into the outfitter at Egros here. So, something to note is that different types of towns will have different equipment. There's generally 3 types of towns. You're going to see castles, which have, like, heavy armor and swords and things like that. You're gonna see, like, how best to describe it. Like regular towns, they're gonna have a little bit of a mix of things. You're gonna be able to get some slightly rarer stuff, but like mainly magician-y type things you'll be able to get there. Lighter armor. And you have merchant cities where you'll be able to get like some of the really weird esoteric stuff. So we don't find some of those until much later, though. Now, what's nice about tactics is you might think, oh god, it's going to be overwhelming trying to figure out everything that I need to get for these people. But there's a fitting room. And in the fitting room, you can go ahead and hit optimize. And if there's anything that the merchant has that's better than what you currently have, it will kind of like equip it on your character so you can see what the stat changes are going to be. You can do that on as many characters as you want, and then you can buy it all at once so long as you have the money, and it'll already be equipped. It's so, so useful. Very, very, very helpful tool. Of course, though, we already have the best sword that we can possibly have on Ramza currently, and they don't sell armor for squires here, so we're going to move on. We can get a longsword for... Actually, not Ethelbert, because we're not going to be using Ethelbert. Abelard, though. We have a mithril knife here. Letitia's going to get a longsword. Giselle's going to get a mithril knife. And Argath, I think we'll have a broadsword for him, so we don't need to buy one. And then we back out, and boom! We can automatically buy all of those swords simultaneously. It's great. Now, the question is... Oh, he does have some battle boots. Cool. We're going to grab a couple pairs of these just to make our units a little bit speedier. And then we can actually see here he has armor. So if we had a knight, we could outfit them in armor, but we don't currently, so we're just going to move on. Whoever becomes a Black Mage, best channel the fury of Yieldwine. Oh my god, Yieldwine was such a monster. Too angry to run out of MP. That man was insane. It was so good. It was so good. Okay, so let's get these last couple of things equipped on the people who are going to be using it. We can take this gear off of Ethelbert. And give some boots to our chemist. And we're actually not going to be using Serendipity either. And to Letitia. So now all of our squires are going to be able to move a good distance, and be able to keep up with the enemy, move in quickly, all that type of good stuff. And one of our chemists will be able to move more quickly. Argath can get a broadsword, and then he and Delita are pretty much good to go. The only other thing I want to do, I backed that one too far, was see if we have anything else we can learn. Notably, Ramza can actually hit up Knight Archer, White Mage, or Black Mage, because both Squire and Chemist have leveled on him. We're not going to be going into those just yet. And I think we're not going to learn anything on him either. I really want to get JP boost. So, although, that's Old Habits Die Hard. I'm probably not going to be using this file for anything after tonight's stream. So, realistically, there's no point in me going for JP boost. Realistically, we should be going for stuff that's going to be more useful in the immediate. So I think after one more battle, we'll be able to pick up Move +1, and that'll be really good for Ramza. Ethelbert we're not using. Abelard is fine. Ishelton, or Isilton, Islaton. He has Potion and Phoenix down, which is really all he needs. We can actually, I think, switch him. We're going to make him a mage after we get to the next town, so we can buy some gear for him. But that's going to happen very soon here. Letitia, what can you get? Letitia can unfortunately not change to knight. And Giselle can also change class. She'll get stone. And Phoenix down. Alright, and then Giselle and our chemist here, Isleton, are going to become mages once we get to the Magic City of Garland. So let's see if we get a random battle! We don't! Okay. So those green tiles, you can get random battles on. Only green tiles. Did you notice? Notice what? How am I supposed to notice if you don't tell me what it is I'm supposed to look at? The menu, you clod. Take a glimpse. The menu. Alright. There's new words on it. Melee and, rendezvous?
What do you suppose those are? Some new manner of challenges, as I hear it. Melee battles are for sparring. Sounds like a rum way to test your sword arm. Friendly challenges too, no worries of getting left to feed the worms. What about that other one? Rendezvous? Well, sometimes people look to hire 2 groups of adventurers for a job. That's how you meet up with the other one. Ah, so you have to work together with another cull, eh? Not so sure as I could do that. Well, there aren't a lot of offers up yet either way. Sure there will be someday, though. Once more people catch wind of the idea, there'll be probably some right interesting jobs. Suppose I could try it sometime. Forgot that man's accent. There's more still. This is the good part. As I'm told, both participants get rewarded with treasure. Why didn't you say that from the start? Let's get going. Well, first we need to find another group. You might give it a try too, my lord. If you ever have the interest, just say the word. So this is what they added in with War of the Lions to tell you about those multiplayer facets that I was telling you about. Most fun I ever had with a stream. Oh yeah, those streams were insane. It's like, honest to God, they were so much fun. That's Canadian animator guy, for those of you who don't know, did a tactics stream like, I guess a year ago now, getting on? Series of tactics streams where he played the whole game for the first time blind, and it was a blast. It was so much fun. Should go for JP Boost, though, because JP Boost is JP Boost. It's not going to be useful by the end of the night, though. Not going to lie, I'd be down for further FFT streams or videos. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, sometime in the future, maybe. But right now, the schedule's just too packed. I realistically had to wiggle some things around just to fit this in tonight. But for the anniversary, I had to do it. Tom's probably never going to revisit this game again, though. He doesn't like it very much. Oh, my God. Get Gathering Swarms, you automatically get Geo. God, it took me so long to do that in Hollow Knight, man. Dear Lord. But I didn't know. I didn't realize how good it was, you know? Alright, Slayton. I mean, I could make him a Black Mage or a White Mage. But I mean, the male Black Mage sprite is just iconic, so we gotta go with it. I love changing jobs in this game. It's just... it's just a little moment in Toon that's just full of possibilities. There's so many things that could happen once you've changed that job. It's great. So as you can see, his portrait has changed, and all of his stats have changed, as well as what equipment he can wield. He cannot wield knives, or swords, or anything else. So it unequipped his weapon. We can get a rod for him to use, though, which we will put on. And if we had one in our inventory, it would have automatically equipped it for him. So, but you can also see, primarily under the attack stat, which is kind of, if you look straight down from his name, you'll see ATK. His physical damage has gone down, and his magical damage has gone up, perhaps unsurprisingly. Each class has its own bases. So, each class also has its own growth rates. So, like, if you level someone for 50 levels as a knight and then switch them to a black mage, they're not going to be able to do nearly as much damage as someone who had been a black mage the whole time, because knights don't have very good, like, magic attack growth. But that's kind of advanced stuff. You don't need to worry about it too much, but if you kind of know where to look, you'll be able to notice when something like that is going on with one of your units. Alright, Giselle. Next up, White Mage. Look at the White Mages. The female White Mages are so cute. Ah, adorable. Thick, luscious hair. Alright, and you can see, because we had that oak staff already in our inventory, it automatically equipped it for her. It's great. Now, when you change to a new job for the first time, don't make the mistake of forgetting to go and learn new abilities. You know nothing about your new job when you switch to it, so you need to make sure that you go and pick up the basics. You'll always have some JP in it, so you can do that, but yeah, you need to make sure you do it. So, we'll pick up Cure, and that's all we can afford at the moment, actually, but we can heal people, and that's good. We're also going to switch her to items, so that we still have a little bit of that chemistry stuff going on. Notably, she will no longer be able to throw items because she is not a chemist. But I mean, she's got ranged healing. That's fine. Now we need to do the same for our man Slayton here. And fortunately, he has enough JP to learn not one, but two of the basic Final Fantasy spells, Fire, Thunder, or Blizzard.
Now, there are differences in these. Obviously, they all have different elemental affinities, and as you might expect, there are different enemies that have different elemental weaknesses. There's armor that allows you to block or absorb or reduce the damage of different types of elements. And there's actually weather effects that can impact that as well. So right now we're going to pick up Blizzard for reasons that will become apparent soon. And we're going to pick up Fire because I just like it. We're also going to make sure that we switch him to items as well so that he still has healing. And we're going to go into the shop and see if we can't pick up some gear for these finally re-equipped and reclassed young folk. So you can see here, there's actually some new armor that we can pick up as well. We can get a rod, which, I mean, it's just the default mage weapon. But we can also get a plumed hat and leather clothing, which you can actually see if I say go to put this back. We are currently gaining 8 health and 5 MP over the hat that we had equipped previously. Leather clothing is giving us 5 HP. So we're only going to get the hat currently just to keep costs down, and because it's the one that is giving us extra MP. We're going to come over here to our white mage, and we're going to do the same. And then we'll just put the leather clothing back. And that leaves us a little bit of money left over to give Ramza some new armor. Oh, actually, we're just over. Okay, hold up. We can fix that. So, something that you're going to be doing periodically is you're going to be coming in and you're going to be selling some excess gear. These leather caps, we're literally never going to use them again. Once we can get the feathered caps, it's useless. So, same with the clothing. Like, don't feel like you need to hold on to some stuff like that. Again, there's certain things that'll give you special effects that you might want to hold on to, but that's pretty much it. Nice. So now our mages and Ramza are all equipped and upgraded. We're ready to go. Oh. Apparently a lot of stuff going on in chat. Jeez. As an aside, the multiplayer features are disabled in the iOS/Android version of War of the Lions, but you're able to access the content you would have gotten from it totally single player. Oh, really? I didn't know that. That's really cool. Okay. If you don't have a PSP and you have a good phone and you'd like to be able to play this on the go, the iOS and Android version is actually like really good. So it's worth considering picking it up there. Final Fantasy games with job systems are so fun. Oh, they really are. Achievement become Vivi? Yes. Game is gloriously convoluted. It's incredible. I know. It's so good. Female white mages are great. They are. So tempted to start another playthrough. Final Fantasy IX is the quintessential mainline Final Fantasy game. See, I've always heard you say that. Someday I'll get around to actually playing it. No health, only damage. Yeah. Have I seen the Jobs artwork for Final Fantasy III DS? Same artist, very much like this game. The best job class for White Magic, Devout, has a hood with kitty ears. Oh, I know. Oh, I know. I played through the entirety of Final Fantasy III on DS, so I'm very familiar with it. As a bonus, the mobile versions have redrawn sprites that are higher resolution but stay true to the original art style. This is true. They do. They do. All right. It's time to get back to it, chat. We did a bunch. We're going to save. We're going to get into the next story fight, which is not too bad. The next story fight is not too bad at all. The one after that, Merchant City of Dorter, where we're probably going to... Well, like, we'll do it, but that's probably where we'll end for the night. That one can be pretty nasty. I played 3DS. Awesome. Yes, I did. I played 1 and 2 on the GBA, 3 on the DS, and a good chunk of 4 on the DS, but I fell off of it. Alright, once again, we are locked to 4 potential units because Delita and Argath will be coming with us, as this is a main story mission, and they take up 2 of the slots. It's quite unfortunate. So, we're going to be bringing Abelard, I believe, and let's bring our 2 new mages here and see what they're able to do for us, shall we? I also fell off 4 for DS. Are you me? I remember there just being some weird, convoluted, like, complicated stuff with, like, inheriting things or learning things in that. That was weird. Like, I loved Cecil and, like, the Dark Mage to Paladin transition and all that type of stuff. Like, I really enjoyed the game. But there was just something about it that killed it for me. I don't know. Our luck is ill that we should chance upon fiends such as these in the wood. Some of us prefer fiends in a wood to a dull watch in Castle Garrett's, Argath. And some of us are not so quick to jape in danger's face. We have a whole bunch of monsters here. Enough talk. They come. Alright. So this one isn't too bad, so long as the monsters didn't roll particularly high brave. Delita and Argath will, of course, go in there and just get down to business and take hits and deal damage and everything. They're useful. Now, notably, we have these gobos here and some bombs. We had seen the Panthers before, of course. What's up, Jane? Where are you creeping off to? Are you going to bed? Okay. I'm probably going to be going for another, like, 50 minutes or so. And then I'll come in and see if you're awake or whatever, okay? Do you have lunch together? Did you get, like, leftovers from tonight together or anything? Okay, I'll do that for you. So, okay. Is stuff still out, or? Okay. Then, yeah, I'll take care of that then once I'm done here, so. Okay. Oh, okay, I mean, if you want to do it, that's much appreciated, so. Grab yourself some lunch if you want. I know there's no broccoli left, but, if you wanted turkey and potatoes. If there's enough. Did you like that? Was it good? Yeah, I thought so. I guess you won't really have a veggie, but I mean, if there's enough turkey and potatoes there for you for your lunch, then you can do that. So, if not, then there's soup in there that I can make and give you some tortellini and stuff if you'd like. So, okay, cool. I'll see what you've done, or you can let me know, and I'll square it away once I'm done with the stream. Can you guys tell that I'm Jane's support squad at home? When I'm not doing YouTube things all day, every day, I'm also, like, maintaining the apartment and cooking and getting her lunches together and all that type of good stuff. I almost finished it, too. I don't remember how far into 4 I was, but... The amount of randomness in encounter generation is definitely not aged well, not gonna lie. Oh, it aged fine. It aged fine. It keeps you on your toes, man. Absolutely. Wow, that's a nasty gobbo right there. Okay. Fortunately, he has really high faith, which is good, because it means he's going to take more damage from magic, and we just so happened to learn a spell recently that's going to do quite the number on him. Okay, the bomb isn't too bad. Bombs, as always in Final Fantasy, can be very nasty. They have pretty high damage output for their physical attacks, and if you leave them at too low health, they will self-destruct and myrtleize a whole bunch of stuff. So, when you're going to fight them, target them down, kill them. Don't leave them low. You will pay for it. Alright, this goblin has much lower brave, but still has high faith. That's good. High brave, high faith bomb. High damage there. Gotta pay attention to that. Lower bravery, but also low faith goblin. Okay. Shouldn't be too bad, though. I mean, again, pretty much any of these fights I can handle without too much issue, so... Ramza, move up just a little bit to lure the goblin into your range. Thank you, sir. Abelard, if you want to just line up in part of the battle formation, that would be great. And Isletin, okay. So this is where things can get interesting, because we do have our first mage turn here. But not really anywhere that we want to go with him. As you'll be able to see... Well, I'd have to move him here, which is fine. He has a magic range of 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Technically speaking, he could hit this goblin because his magic will hit in a plus shape, but I'll explain how that's not a good idea in a second here. What's up, love? Was there any what? Did you eat that whole tenderloin that was on your plate? Oh, okay. No, that was it then. Yeah. So I was surprised. I'm surprised you ate all that. I mean, good. Lord knows you worked out hard enough the last couple of days, but it was too much for me. So, well, good. I can make you soup then, if that works for you. Okay, I'll do that. Did you put the potatoes away? Much appreciated. Don't mind the homemaking, folks. So, I think we're going to adopt the very, honestly, probably one of the best strategies you can have in most battles and tactics of letting them come to us. So, we're going to just move Slayton up behind Ramza here, and I can show you how magic works in this. So, you can see here, we have two spells, Fire and Blizzard. They both have the same MP cost, and they have a turn cost. That's right. You don't just select a spell and have it cast. Oh no, it has to charge. So, you can see here, we have Blizzard is the one we're going to be looking at for a reason I'll explain. And you can actually hit right on the D-pad, and you can see all of the characters that are going to go before the spell will cast on turn 8 here. So pretty much the entire enemy cast is going to go, which is unfortunate. What's cool is even though the enemies are out of our range, we could technically cast on the tile, and it'll hit everything that happens to be standing in that tile space when the spell goes off. But the goblin's going to move, so that would be a bad idea. The game will also do its best to avoid spells that you put on the floor as kind of like traps, which you can use to kind of position things, but we don't have a lot of MP, so we don't really want to do that, so we're just going to wait. What's up, love? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, totally fine. It's the warm months. People are expecting AC in the background. It's all good. Okay. Sleep well, darling. I'll be in a little bit. I should draw Ramza with rollerblades sliding with his walk cycle back and forth in place. Oh my god, that'd be so good. I would love that. The scale of the variance, not its existence, is the issue. Oh, okay. Fair enough. I can see that. Either be horrendously weak or a massive danger based on what you're saying, all down to the RNG. I mean, I don't want to over-exaggerate it. It's more just like a dictating the hierarchy of, like, the threat hierarchy. When you first start the fight, like, okay, which of these monsters do I have to pay particularly close attention to? Love how faith-determining magic damage taken means you could theoretically shrug off a fireball if you simply don't believe it existed hard enough. That is a strat, Coffee Cup. Late game, you can manipulate characters' bravery and faith. And one of the best things you can do for yourself is make like a heavy melee fighter with minimum faith. We're talking like 3 faith is the lowest you can get it. And they will be basically impervious to magic. It takes a long time to set up, but like if you do, it's really good. If I were to change one thing in the remake of this game, I just want the turn order optionally on screen with character portraits instead of having it in the menu. Yes! Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's something they would do. Follow something like the triangle strategy model, or even like Tactics Advance and Tactics Advance 2 have versions of that. So with the added screen space and everything that they would get from high-def TVs and everything, I think they would absolutely do that. What would I change? Oh boy. It's probably a pretty in-depth topic. Calculator would definitely have to get nerfed into the ground so that it's not broken as hell. Some of the exploits would need to get fixed. And probably just rework the XP and JP system a little bit so it doesn't encourage some degeneracy in gameplay and makes it flow a little bit more smoothly in regular gameplay. Those are some of the things I would definitely change right off the bat. AC in background means streamer stays alive. Hell yeah. Yeah, and that is indeed how faith and magic work here. Yep. Alright, move our white mage up. Same thing. No one needs to be healed, so she's just going to chill. And then the gobos start moving. Okay, not too much damage on Ramza. 18, not bad at all, not bad at all. Unfortunately, this Gobbo has very low health, so that's good. Definitely nerf math. There's some other classes that could be buffed a bit as well, like Mystic I really like, and I've come around on a lot in recent years, but it could definitely use a little bit of improvements to its spells. Half that Gobbo's health just gone, nice. Ramza, you want to just finish it off for me? Hell yeah. Nice. Okay. And now we can kind of play around that goblin's corpse, so we can use it as a roadblock, make it so that the rest of the enemies aren't just running up on us, which would be really good. Here we're going to have our squire positioned above the water, so we can kind of keep the enemies down in it, which is going to give us an advantage. And here is where we can start casting stuff. So you can see, to this day, I haven't really been too meticulous about learning how the turn charge count works for things like magic. But generally speaking, if you have a high turn cost or turn like count to charge for a spell, if you wait a turn to cast, it'll generally be lower. Kind of to disincentivize you from just spamming all over the place. So we're going to choose Blizzard, because as you can imagine, fire against bombs is not going to be good for us and will in fact heal them. And you can see here, in 2 turns, we will hit both this bomb and this panther. And fortunately for us, our white mage is going, so she's immediately going to go, and that is then going to trigger that spell. We'll heal Ramza up with a potion, no need to charge a cure. And there it goes. Beautiful. I mean, just based off of the battles that you've seen, already you can tell how powerful that is. The amount of damage that we just put out across 2 targets with 1 spell is insane. Argath tackling a freaking cat to death. Jeez. Oh, nerf calculator just enough to still be fun, but not too broken. Also, yeah, fix the exploits and rebalance XP and JP a bit. So actually, I've been playing a little bit of Triangle Strategy in what free time I have, doing New Game Plus. And I just got one of the characters that I wasn't able to get in my main playthrough that's on the channel. And he's just a calculator. His name is Decimal. And all of his abilities are variations of math abilities, but like completely rebalanced. So I don't remember exactly how it works because I just got him when I last stopped playing. I haven't even used him yet, but it's like way, 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 way more balanced. And I think if they were going to remake the game, which I think they might, then they could potentially take some inspiration from that for calculator. Me, degeneracy isn't how you can exploit grind JP and XP. Yes. Yes. Like, I'd rather have XP and JP gains be a little bit more balanced across the board, if that means increasing them across the board for the player to make for a smoother play experience, and rebalancing the game around that a little bit, rather than having those types of degeneracies in play and encouraging people to use them because it can take so long to level in other areas. You know, not like it's impossible to level at all, it's not, but a lot of times people decide to use some of the exploits just to get there faster, you know? This goblin is in a bad spot, man. Hey, Slayton is good to go again. Oh boy, oh boy. And there's 2 enemies here in a plus-shaped formation. 3 turns? Look at that. They're not even going to be able to move before it goes off. Okay. So you thought this goblin was in a bad spot before, but if you look, it is going to take 70. Big 7-0 damage from Blizzard. And that's because goblins are our first example of enemy types that are weak to a certain element. Goblins are horrendously weak to ice magic. So if you see a goblin, hit it with ice, and it will probably fall over dead. Has some damage on some folks here. So what we're going to do is cast Cure. And what's cool about the way the magic system works in this is you can cast and then move. So, like, we're able to target this from here, right? Cure, much like our offensive spells, targets in a plus-shaped area, and we can target the ground. So long as Delete and Argath don't move, they'll get healed. And now we can actually move further away outside of what our range would have been to safety. Argath is unfortunately going to be a dummy and move, but Delita will still get healed, so it's fine. Be back in 20 if you're still streaming. I think we'll be here fine. Nice. Again, Islayton absolutely being the MVP immediately. Also, spells can piggyback off each other. A spell going off counts as a turn. So if you have multiple spells charging simultaneously, when one of them goes off, that'll knock a turn off any other spell's turn counter. So if everyone is casting, like if your entire party is casting and their spells start going off, it'll just start chaining together. And it gets so gross. I love it. Let's have Ramza throw stones here. He does not live in a glass house. He's a good boy, so it's safe to throw stones. And Abelard, with his battle boots, is able to move just far enough to get a swing in on this gobbo. And Delita's probably going to get the finisher here. Oh, not quite. Not quite. Okay. Fair enough. Can we get a cheeky finisher with his Leighton here? We actually can. Nice. So, something else to note. Things like magic do, in fact, have friendly fire in this game. So, Delita is going to take damage from this as much as the Goblin is. Well, not as much as the Goblin is, because Delita isn't weak to Blizzard, but, you know. And down he goes. Monsters, 0. Tom, 1. Of course there's a calculator in Triangle Strategy. Of course there is, man. All of the late game classes or characters that you get are homages to some of the most well-known classes from Triangle Strategy. It's great. There's like a Dragoon, there's a Dark Knight, there's a calculator, there's all sorts of stuff. Just noticed how the tree shadows are baked into the ground textures. That's what I love about games from this era. Oh, yeah. That's a great idea, or great point. I didn't even notice that in all these years of playing. Do have to be careful with that, though, because if the enemy is casting as well, it can work against you. Yes! Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Just some of the little things, some of the little intricacies that you can make use of or be abused by in this game. Nice. 1800 gil. Far more because the enemies were higher level. And unfortunately, no rewards. Okay, so coming up here is Dorter, and we're not ready for Dorter, I'll tell you that much right now. We can be, in fairly short order here, but first things first, Ramza is getting moved +1. Boink. Let's see here. Abelard can get Knight. May not be worth it, though, honestly. We might just leave him as Squire for now. His Leighton has just enough to get Thunder, which is absolutely going to be useful here for reasons that I'll explain once we get to Dorter. Letitia didn't have enough to learn anything, and Giselle has enough to learn a defensive spell. And we're actually going to take Shell here because, let me tell you, there's going to be some magic in the next fight. Spoiler alert. Alright. So we're going to save here. And then we're actually going to make our way back to Egros because we're going to be turning at least Ramza into a knight for this next fight. So he has a little bit more HP. And for that, we're going to want to make sure that we have some armor. And no random battle. Look at that. So, normally, again, I would probably leave Ramza as a Squire or do a couple of random battles just to get some of the JP that I want for some of his Squire skills before changing him. But, again, since this is probably one of the last fights that we're going to be doing tonight, we're going to just switch to a Knight. That's going to increase all of his stats pretty much that we care about as a Squire across the board, but it makes it so he can't use cloth armor. So, we need to go to the Outfitter here and equip some of that armor that we saw here before. So now, he can use a shield, which is going to make it so that he has a % chance to block attacks from the front or from the side, and just generally makes him dodgier overall. And he'll get a whopping 40 HP from that armor, giving him much more HP than he ever would have had as a Squire. It's very, very nice. Probably the only change that we're going to make here, though, since we already have mages online. And no random battles on the way back either. I was almost hoping that we would get some, so we could get a little bit stronger for Dorter. This could actually prove to be scary here. Dorter is the fight that breaks most people who play this game for the first time. It can be nasty. We should be fine. And in fact, you know what? Let me look at Delita and Argath just to see what they're going to do. Delita has potions. I'm happy with that. He unfortunately can't get move +1. That would be great if he could have, but oh well. Argath is going to get stone. Oh yeah, also notably, Argath's Squire class, a slight difference. He's actually able to get Rend Helm and Rend Armor in Squire, which are normally reserved for the Knight class. So just little unique things that go on with these characters, even between classes that are otherwise the same. We're also going to remove Defend, because Defend is terrible, and I don't feel like having him use it on us randomly when he should be hitting something. We can give them Mithril Knives. That's true. Okay. Okay. I believe Mithril Knives have a slightly higher chance to crit over Broadswords, so... Time for Murder and Dorter. Or Mortar and Dorter. Dorter, also known as the Absolute Wake-Up Call. Yeah. Yep. Challenge, convince a boss to accidentally kill itself by walking into its own spell. Oh my god, it would be so good. It would be so, so good. Could keep walking around for random battles. I mean... Nah. Nah. We're gonna go in. If I die, I die. I'm a vet. I should be able to handle it. If I can't, well, that's just Dorter for you, baby. And it'll be a good way to end. To show the true brutality that Final Fantasy Tactics can bring against you. But here we go. You can see we are still limited to 4 total characters because, again, Argath and Delita will be with us. And I think we're pretty much just going to bring the same squad that we brought, I think. Like, Abelard seems like a good choice, is Leighton, and Giselle. Yeah, seems good. Convince a boss to accidentally kill itself by walking into its own spell. Yeah, that can happen. The game can be quite devilish about that, as Light says. The enemy AI in this is very smart in a lot of different ways, so you'll find them doing things like that more alarmingly often than you would expect. Trixie. Trixie. Get off Jane's desk. There you go. Good girl. And here, we see a whole badass of a character. Love this guy. I said I know not of it. Do not speak false to me. I know what you've done. Where is Gustav? I will have it from you, one way or another. I don't know. What of the Marquis? Where have you hidden him? Tell me! And the rain begins. The splash of him falling into a puddle. Oh, it's so good. I will not ask again. Where are they? The desert. They're in the desert. The sand rats siege. Hold! He orders swords. My luck turns foul with the weather. And he just walks away like a magnificent bastard. It seems we did well to come here. Have I not seen that man before? You know him, Delita? I have seen his face, I'm sure of it. It was at Egros, just after the war's end. Oh boy, here they come, out of the slums. You'll pardon me my misgivings, but this is not the look of any joyous reunion. To arms! Dun 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 bum bum dun 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 dun. So what makes this fight particularly nasty? Well, you may have noticed as the camera was panning around, the game was throwing not 1, not 2, but 3 new types of units at us that we have not fought up to this point unless you randomly happen to encounter one in a random fight, which is not super likely. So there are knights, archers, and black mages here, a much fuller company that has a much greater variety of ways they can hurt you than a random hodgepodge of squires and a thief, you know? Or some monsters. So it can definitely take you by surprise if you're not ready. Also, you'll note Weegraf, which is the name of that man who went wandering away there, made note of the weather turning, and I mentioned how thunder was going to be a particularly useful spell here. That is because weather effects do, in fact, impact the damage that you do. So in rain, fire damage is lessened, and lightning damage is increased. So we're pretty much exclusively going to be using thunder here.
I've just remembered. That man, his name is Weegraf. He commanded the dead men during the war. A company of volunteers assembled from the peasantry. So this is Big Cheese. These dead men that we've been hearing about, this is the leader. What? But that would make him... Aye. The commander of the Corpse Brigade. So Argath and Delita really like to climb up this building, which is okay. Because as you'll see... As soon as his turn comes up here... There's 3 archers. There he is. You can see him all the way in the top right there. There's an archer all the way at the top of this building. And that's brutal, because archers get increased range the higher up they are. So right from the jump, you are getting pelted with arrows from the second the fight starts. There's 2 black mages, which you saw how brutal black mages can be. 3 archers, who are all on rooftops, and a knight, who's quite tanky. So if you try to run in here, you're going to get blown the hell up. So realistically, we're probably going to follow Delita and Argath up here, at least for a little while. Take some cover behind this box. It probably won't do us too much good, but... Now, Giselle isn't going to be able to get up there, but that's fine. She'll still be kind of crouched in the back. And what she can do is she can go ahead and cast Shell on these 2 fine folks. So you can see, Shell only has a 92% chance of successfully being applied to Delita. And that's a percentage that's applied per character. So like if we look at herself, she only has an 89% chance of affecting herself, or Abelard a 97% chance. So that's impacted by a number of things, including the faith of both characters, as well as their own zodiac sign affinity, which is a complicated system that we are not going to get into. But we're going to go ahead and target Delita and our squire here, and hopefully they'll both be affected by it so that they will take less magic damage if they happen to get hit by it. Our black mage is just going to hang out in the back here, and once again, we're going to let the enemy come to us. You sound like me singing the Xenoblade music on my stream last night? Yup. Absolutely. How could I not, man? Like, this music is incredible. Delita potioning himself up after that big arrow shot that he took. Ah, the first case of, wait, the enemy starts with a clear advantage over me and the game going lol, lamau. Oh, yeah. The game does not hesitate to disadvantage you and say, figure it out. So the real thing that you want to make sure that you don't do is get targeted by both black mages simultaneously. Because if that happens, whoever they target is probably just dead. Not the end of the world, as long as you have some Phoenix Downs, but yeah, still can be pretty brutal. Oof! Nice crit from Ramza there. Very, very nice. Now this man, you might note, doesn't have a bow. That's right. The game decided, yeah, we're going to make things look really scary by putting 3 archers on the board, but we're only going to actually give 2 of them weapons. The other one's just going to walk up and try and punch you. So it's really not a concern to try and chase that guy down. He can't shoot at us, and realistically, trying to move up and kill him from this range would just put us in danger. So we're just going to hang out here, and again, try and let the enemy come to us. Actually, I don't even want to move there, because the black mages will be able to target us. Neil, you gotta go, man. You are just causing problems. Alright, Giselle, if you could put more shell on people, that would be great. Oof, only 79% chance to hit Argath. She must have a bad relationship with him from the Zodiac. Still hit him, though. Beautiful. Okay. We just want to have as many people with shell on them as possible. You could make an argument for protect as well because of the archers, but like the black mages are by far the scariest thing here. You can at least potion up from most of the archers' shots. The black mages will just kill you. Like no ifs, ands, or buts. Belmont? Oh my god.
I was certified vampire hunter here. God damn, I didn't realize we were fighting such stiff competition. Nice block, Ramza. Nice. 10 damage, not a ton, but still more than you want to take at this point in the game. Alright, no casts from the black mages yet. That's good. Now we need to start moving up, because we're going to have to start finishing people off. And we have to be able to get into range of the black mages. So, time to push. Now, what you might notice here... There's a whole lot of dudes grouped up, and we have a very angry black mage with thunder magic. So, yep, and he's going to be able to cast before anyone takes their turn. So we're just going to go like this. Yeah. That's going to take one black mage off the board, and probably not kill the knight or the archer, but damage them heavily. Delita and Argath are going to go mess up the archer, which is good. Stab him with your steely knives, boys. Alright, Ramza, get in there, deal some damage to the knight. Hopefully, between Ramza and our cast here, he'll take enough. Probably not, but... And then we'll be able to pressure the other black mage. Here we go! Big damage right here. Oh, the archer went down too. Beautiful. Absolutely massive. You love to see it. Just gonna go for a potion here. Oh, wait, no. No, he doesn't even have any damage on him because one of the others healed him. Okay, cool. Honestly, I think we'll just wait until we need to have her do something for somebody. Yeah, or you. Hey, hold on, this is totally one-sided. The game. Lol. Lamau, even. Josias the Black Mage is going to run away and cast on Ramza. Kind of figured. Argath is going to go finish the Archer. Oh, not quite finish the Archer, but close enough. Alright, so we don't want to move Abelard here because he'll be targeted by the magic. So we'll just have him go here. So, as we can see here, we're going to cast Thunder, and Josias, the enemy Black Mage, is going to cast Fire just before. So really, this basically is an instant cast Thunder, which will kill the Knight for us, hopefully. Alright, rip Ramza. That's fine. We can get him up. Nice. Enemy Knight down. So, at this point, really the only threat is the Black Mage, because, yeah, the Archer's about to die. Oh! Also, some of those skills like Rush have a chance of rolling higher damage than they would have initially done, so pretty cool. May as well heal up Delita. Great turn. Yeah, that was a great turn, absolutely. Ramza, no! He'll be fine. He'll shrug it off. Oh, you're coming toward... Oh, you fool. So, fun thing about the charging mechanic, anything that you have to charge, whether it be an attack or a spell or whatever, if you get hit while you're charging, you actually take more damage. So this Black Mage made an extremely foolish decision by moving up and charging into our melee range. Yeah, not quite going to kill him, but that's way more damage than we normally would have done. You use Cure on your ally, the ally uses Dodge. You jest, but in Fire Emblem 4, otherwise, or no, 5, otherwise known as Thracia 776, your Cure staves just have a chance to miss. That is just a thing that can happen. It sucks. We can try to cast here. His spell might kill us in return, but if it doesn't, he's dead. And I mean, even if it does, no, we're done. We're done here. Our squire would just finish him off. Oh, you're approaching me. That is exactly how that exchange went down. And down he goes! Kaput by Dunzo. And that's the Trade City of Dorter. Done. Made it look so easy. This fight brutalizes people who are unprepared for it. Like, absolutely devastates. I've seen so many people nearly put the game down forever because of this fight, so don't be fooled by me playing it. Someone who has way too much time with the game. This one can be a doozy. Bunch of good gear from it, though. Bunch of good gear. That hempen robe gives a huge boost to MP compared to anything else we can get. And the iron sword is a nice increase in damage, too. We know you're of the brigade. There's no use hiding it. Out with it. What have you done with the Marquis? Where are you holding him? You were with your commander, Weegraf, when we came upon you. Where has he gone? Mayhap a beating would loosen your tongue. Oof. Oh, and by the hair. Enough, Argath. Listen well. A great host with the order at its van prepares a sweeping campaign that will bring to book your Turncloak Brigade. You will die. You will be hunted down to the last and slaughtered like the swine you are, for such is brigandry's reward. But you, pig, are a lucky one. Tell us what we wish to know, and you may yet keep your bacon. So, where is Weegraf? How the bloody hell should I know? Ugh! I'll not bear your ribald tongue, rogue. Learn to guard it if you'd not have it cut from your throat. I am no rogue. Tell that to the men you've robbed. You nobles are all the same. You think every man born outside a castle's walls less than human. We fought for this kingdom at peril of our very lives, yet the moment the war was ended, you turned us out into the streets. What do you think makes you so special? Birth? Blood? What difference does it make? You kidnap men for ransom, then dare ask the reason between us? No. Marquis' kidnapping was no plan of Weegraf's. He would never hold a man for ransom. Then who? Someone kidnapped the Marquis Elmdor de Limberry. Speak. If not you, then on whom would you pin the deed? It was Gustav. Who is Gustav? Gustav Margraf, Lieutenant Commander of the Dead Men. So the Corpse Brigade was behind the kidnapping. No, we're not like Gustav. We fight to end the aristocracy, not to become it. To be treated as equals, as the men of honor we are. What do maggots know of honor? That's enough, Argath. So where is this Gustav? In the Sandrat Siege. Sandrat? You're not of Galleon. Small wonder you've not heard of him. Sandrats are unique to the Zekloud Desert, north of Dorda. Do any villages lie between here and the desert? Villages? No. At least not anymore. But the Desert Men once had a settlement on the outskirts, and its ruins remain. And that's where we'll find Gustav and the Marquis. Aye, like as not. How can you be so certain? A Siege is a Sandrat's burrow, his home. A little bit of world building for you there. Can't wait to play FE4 and 5. They're great, man. Such good games. Finish them off, the White Mage. I'll cure you. You'll never be sick again. See, it's funny, because in true Final Fantasy tradition, White Mages and anyone who uses a staff actually has semi-decent physical damage, since they have no other, like, means of dealing damage really outside of their class other than holy. So you can just walk up and whap somebody with their stick. And they'll go down like a sack of rocks. Wouldn't expect any less from Titanium. I refuse to use the fire traps on hard mode, Legman. I do have a pedigree to maintain, you know? Turned us to the streets? Is this some sort of poor person joke? I'm too rich to understand. Argath definitely has that whole vibe going on. Gustav, no! You were the chosen one! You were supposed to end the aristocracy, not become them! Yeah, I love 90s Final Fantasy. Magical flying airships, fighting evil monsters, violent interrogations, and questioning your own morality. Wait. Yeah. That's kind of the thing, right? Like, think back to that first fight against those brigands, who were from the Corpse Brigade. And just the things they were saying and what we were saying to them and everything. And then just the little bit of dialogue that we had with that man there. Puts the perspective of those men and the situation they were in into a little bit more perspective, doesn't it? You know? It's just interesting when you think about it. This game was amazing for that. Yeah, oh, yeah. The politics and the introspection and the questions of morality in this game are one of its finest selling points, for sure. One of my favorite quotes of all time came from this game. There's a lot of amazing quotes from this game. Absolutely. Absolutely. It's funny, though. We actually ended that kind of faster than I expected to. It went extremely smoothly, so we aren't quite at 3 hours, but I do think this is a good place to call it, because it's after this point that things really start to pop off, and we really start going wild with the story in this chapter. So, for those who want to play the game, like Coffee Cup, I want you to experience that for yourself. This is a good intro. It shows you some of the mechanics, it shows you some of the characters at play, it shows you the depth that the storytelling can start to take on. And you saw the first really difficult battle. So, again, I know I made it look not so difficult, but again, I am not a good measure of the difficulty of the game with how many years I put into it. So, but yeah, after this point is when things start to really get interesting. So I think I'll leave this here and let anyone who wants to experience it for themselves experience it that way. So, and we're close enough to 3 hours anyway. Oddly enough, from WeGraph. WeGraph has some great quotes, absolutely. The game did give you context right away about the Corpse Brigade, but it layers it on very well. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, it's one thing to hear, like, you know, a group of knights went rogue and are brigands after yada yada yada, but it's another to, like, really see the individuals who are part of the movement and who are being affected by all this and where they're coming from and how they really aren't bad people. That's when it really starts to hit home. I'll put it on the list. I'll get to it someday. I feel that, Coffee Cup. My list is longer than I'll be able to clear out in my lifetime. Coffee Cup using that meme without knowing the full context. Yep. Gave an excellent demonstration of the game, as expected, of course. Well, thank you, sir. I very much appreciate it. That was the goal. Like I said at the start of the stream, this isn't going to be a full series or anything. There's probably not going to be any more streams of this in the near future or anything like that. But since it's the 25th anniversary, I needed to do something for the game. This game has done so much for me. It's had such an influence on my life. I've made friendships because of this game. A lot of, like, my writing and the influence of worlds that I've built and my interest in gaming as a whole comes from this game. My love of sharing games through YouTube and stuff partially comes from telling people about this game and seeing them be so excited about it and falling in love with it and realizing how good it is, and being part of that experience made me want to share it with more people. So being able to do that with Tactics on its 25th anniversary in lieu of Square Enix doing anything for it is an honor and a privilege, really. Like, it's... my life would be different without this game, really. It's one of the first games I remember playing with my dad. You know, I played it because of him, and he named a black mage after me, and that was my character. Whatever I wanted him to do with that character, he would do. It was great. It was so much fun. So, thank you guys for coming and hanging out. I do very, very much appreciate it. Anyone watching the VOD, I hope you enjoy as well. I know not too many people around tonight, but that is totally okay. That's totally okay. I'm just glad to have this on the channel. It deserves to have a place on my channel. First battle of Grog Hill is meant to make you feel bad? Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Just because I don't think this is too spoilery, a pen isn't mightier than a sword. Pens do not do battle, nor swords poetry. Mighty is the hand that knows when to pick up the pen or pick up the sword. Yep, I figured that was the one that you were thinking of. Incredible advice. The Chapter 3 battle, yes. I bought this game along with Dead or Alive 1. Guess which one I still have. It's Dead or Alive 1, right? No. I still have the PS1 version of the game. It's not the original disc, because my dad traded it in, like, obviously years and years ago, and I didn't realize until I was older. So I actually went out and I scoured. I think they were actually EB Games still at the time, before they all got bought out by GameStop in the US, and scoured them in the area and found a copy of it and bought it. So I still have my physical copy, or a physical copy of the PS1 game. I have my physical copy of War of the Lions on my PSP, and I've played them both to death. And I own the game on my phone as well, not that I've played it too much there. FF7, yeah. That's the thing. This game came out like 5-6 months after Final Fantasy VII did. So, 2 bangers, like back to back. Very impressive. But this got completely overshadowed by FF7 as a result. So, which isn't surprising. I mean, FF7 is also an incredible game, and tactics games were not anywhere near popular at all until pretty recently because of Fire Emblem. And they certainly were not super popular back then. So, but we're coming back around on them now, which is good. I didn't understand this game when I first had it. I came back to it when I was older and just fell in love with it. Oh, yeah. I was only able to figure it out because my dad bought this new in its original black label. Yeah, that's what we had originally. That's what we had. My dad got. Oh, all right, guys. I'm going to wrap this up here. Again, thank you all so much for coming. There was a new episode of Tunic that went out tonight as well, so if you haven't seen that, check that out. And then Jane and I will figure out what's going on if we're doing Outer Wilds tomorrow. She's got a lot of commission stuff that she has to do, I know. So we will put that up if we are doing it. If not, there will be more Tunic, and we're just going to keep on rolling. So I hope you all have a good night. Thank you again for coming out. And remember, be good to each other. Bye now.